as to how much different the PS5 is gonna look than what this dev kit looks,
Yeah.
because there's no way it looks like this. Like, this looks like hot garbage.
I don't know, like, I don't hate it in a weird way. Like, I don't think it looks good, but I don't hate it, you know?
Well, to me, it kind of looks like a vacuum cleaner.
To me, it looks like a horseshoe,
Yeah, like a horseshoe with a box on the bottom.
right? And you throw it. Oh,
It,
it's dumb, but I love it. All right, where's the tweet? Where's the tweet? We're live on YouTube. Are we live on Twitch? We're live on Twitch. We're also
I'm
frozen.
curious as to.
Oh, no, there we go. We're good. We were frozen.
I'm curious as
Hello?
to
How you doing, man?
whether or not I can find the PS4 dev kit.
I'm sure there are
So,
still pictures of it around.
yeah, I'm gonna look that up real quick because I'm just curious as to how much it changed.
There we go. There's the tweet.
Because I'm not gonna lie to you, man, I don't like this at all.
I like the
I mean,
look of it.
I'm gonna buy it.
I don't hate it, I guess is the way. All right, so that's all done. All the housework is finished. Not in this actual house. My physical, real house has a lot of housework that needs to be done because I'm back. But the digital house, known as the Full Spectrum, all the housework's done there. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
And I'm Patrick.
And we are Andrew-less tonight. He is sick. And if I'm a little weird, this is 30 hours of sleep, or 30 hours of being awake with 4 hours of sleep, basically. Because I'm going to let you guys know right now, I look bad. I look frumpy. I'm raggedy. My hair's bad. I haven't shaved my neck. This is the same shirt that I was wearing yesterday. Because we've been on the road. We've been driving back home for the last 18, 19 hours. So, I'm here, though. It was real close. We got behind a FedEx truck at one point, Pat. And my dad had started driving again, and I was like, okay, no problem. We'll pass this FedEx truck. We'll be fine. Behind that, or in front of that FedEx truck was another FedEx truck. And in front of that FedEx truck was an oil tanker. And it was like, okay, well, all right.
Dang. That
So
sucks.
over the course of like an hour, we slowly like found spots to get in between them. But, you know, we're here. We made it. So that's good. You're probably going to hear one of my cats. He's currently in the hall staring at me. He meows randomly because he's glad that I'm home. I was gone for a week. And then the dog is going to come in here and lay down and leave again and come in because he's also glad to be home, but he also hates this room. So there's that. But
Yeah.
I've got a lot to talk about week-wise. I'm going to try and keep it not all vacation related. But Pat, before we get into weeks, did you have anything more you wanted to talk about with the PS5? With the current perception of what it looks like and what we think it's going to look like currently?
Sure. So I tried to find PS4 dev kit looks, and the PS4 dev kit that I saw was like this big, like it was huge, and it was just like this long box. It literally looked just like a gigantic box. I don't remember it looking like that, but according to the pictures and stuff that I found that's what it was.
Right.
And it looks completely different. So I'm hoping that they go with a little bit more of a sleek look, because and I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of the way this dev kit looks.
I
But
don't blame you.
like we were saying, like every dev kit ends up being not even close to what the real thing is.
Yes.
But that's all I really wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, no worries, man. I think it looks not terrible, but I don't necessarily like it either, you know? I just realized that I still had the stream layout set up for Kill Your Babies. So let me fix that real quick. We are discussing Pat's Week.
Fun stuff. Hey guys, I'm still playing Monster Hunter.
Yes, Patrick.
Yes, the game's great. I finally got close to beating the game. I have 3 fights left plus the big fight.
Okay.
And a friend of the podcast, Eric, and I tried to do one of the fights, but died so many times. And so I'm either going to have to do it on my own or do it with everybody
Which fight,
because, or at
if
least
you don't
like
mind
3
me
people.
asking?
It's what's the winded dragon's name? The one
Oh,
that there's tornadoes?
not Kushaladora.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
It's
thing's
so
tough.
annoying. It constantly throws tornadoes and shoots those wind vortexes at you.
Yeah,
And
gotta break his
he does
wings,
so
man.
much damage.
Gotta break his
S-
wings.
So every time I hit his wings, it does no damage.
Oh,
I get zeros.
zeros.
Yeah.
Are you trying to use an electric type bow against him?
No. I'm
Okay.
using the defender bow and I'll hit him in the
Hmm.
wings and it'll do 0 damage.
See, in my head, I'm going. You just clutch claw him to break the wings first. Don't have that option yet. Um, but yeah, as Jin points out, flash flies, flash pods, the flash fly cage, any of that when he's in the air, and then just beat on his head is the easiest way to take him down. I think he was the most trouble of the three for me with the defender set, but I still took him down pretty easily. But I've also fought him many times, so
That's what Eric said too. I mean, the other part of the problem is like it gets
for sure, man.
set up as if it's 4 people
Yeah,
and we're
no, for sure.
playing with just 2 of us. And man, he just does so much damage.
Yeah, I think it's really important at that point of the game because you're getting ready to go into the post game where there's like Devil Joe and stuff like that, and like Lunastra. It's really important to upgrade your armor to get that armor number as high as possible. And there are times where it's worth it before you have your full set as high upgraded as it can to replace stuff that has good skills that you normally want for like Devil Joe pieces because of the defense that they give.
Gotcha. Yeah, I need to just sit down and try to grind that out because I want to be ready in the next 3 days,
Yeah,
but
man, we can
I'm not
do it.
gonna have a whole lot of time,
We can do it.
unfortunately.
We'll find time. Who
Yeah,
needs sleep?
I'm literally gonna have to make it.
No, sleep's important. Children, you should sleep.
um, other than that, some of my coworkers told me that they played League of Legends,
We must. You have
and I
so
was
many
like,
Uma.
man, I
Why?
haven't played League of Legends in a long time.
No, Patrick. No, no. You're gonna be
So I
upset with me in my
re-downloaded
week
it.
too. Like you're gonna do this no thing that I'm doing to you right now in my week. But just know, Patrick.
So I downloaded League and I played it again, and I remembered how much I loved it. And so I'm playing that again. I downloaded Overwatch, played one
No,
game, and I was like,
Patrick.
"Yep, I remember
No.
why I quit playing this game," and I
Thank you.
uninstalled
Good.
it.
Good. 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 Good.
So I have a third game slot waiting, and the third game I'm probably gonna pick up is gonna be Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, probably.
Okay, so you are gonna go ahead and pick that one up. You think?
Yes, I want that game. I think it's gonna be better.
Chat. Chat, you're the best.
Ah,
I love you so much.
hey, come on, man, leave me alone.
I love you so much, chat.
Um, but yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna pick that game up. I think that's what I want to do.
Okay.
I I wasn't sure, but I mean, out of the games that are coming out in January, like that's really the only game that I have written down that I really want.
Yeah.
It comes out on the 17th, so I have time still, but you know, um, in fact, that's the only game in January I have written down at all.
Really?
Yeah, what else comes out in January? Let me look. I know I went
Oh,
over this
I
last
I
week, but I
looked it up
forgot.
earlier too because I was like, man, there's stuff coming. But like my mind's in March for Neo 2.
Yeah, there's March is a heavy month for
Yeah,
a lot
March
of
is gonna
people.
be rough.
It won't be for me because those games I don't have a lot of like I don't know those games
Yeah.
because they're like
Well, you will.
sequels.
You will, Patrick.
Um,
Will know.
but I mean, hey,
Yeah,
because
3
like
more days, Jed.
Iceborne comes out, and then what else comes out this month? Dragon Ball Z Kakarot comes out. Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
I want
Fire
that
Emblem Encore.
that port. I really do. I'm probably not gonna pick it up day one.
You're gonna wait.
Yeah, I really like Sharp FE, but like,
Um, Journey to the Savage Planet interested me.
it seems cool.
That comes out on the 28th.
Why did I move the mic closer and then lean back further in my chair?
I should write that down. Yeah, Journey to the Savage Planet looks interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, honestly. Um, I don't see anything else worth mentioning here, honestly. Which is weird, I feel like, because last year January was a banger.
Yeah. Well, last year January had RE2 remake. It had it had Jump Force.
Oh, jeez. I actually have the list right here. I can probably pull up what else came out, unfortunately.
That game.
That game was so bad. And I
Oh
didn't even
yeah,
play it.
Band is right. None of those games are coming out anymore. Only
What?
Yakuza 7's coming out. Remember?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. What a day that was.
I think Jen. I think it's end of this month, start of next month, for the exclusivity to fall off for Exodus from the Epic Game Store.
I don't remember seeing that, unfortunately. I don't remember what
I doubt that
day.
it. I doubt that it is. Ow! I doubt that it is counted as like a full release because it's already on PC. You know.
Yeah.
But that's when the exclusivity will end and it'll go into Steam.
So January last year had
Because it was 6 months
um
exclusivity, I think.
man, Hitman HD, which that came out. Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. Um the final season of The Walking Dead Telltale series. Um Maybe last year's January wasn't a banger?
I think you're doing the same thing that I am, where you're taking January, February, March, and just crunching them together in your mind.
Maybe, man, because like none of this stuff I
Because
remember.
3 weeks ago, when we were talking about stuff that we were excited for coming up during Kill Your Babies, we were doing the same thing. We were like, yeah, we got Doom, we got the Kingdom Hearts DLC, we got Neo 2, all that's in March.
Yeah, Train, like no good games at all came out in January. I don't know what the heck I was saying.
That's not true. No, wait, RE2 Remake was February. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking to see if because
that was
Apex
February.
Legends came out in February. What else came out?
RE2 Remake.
I'm pretty sure that came out in February, didn't it?
I'm like positive it came out like February 15th. Because the
God
marketing
Eater
was like,
3.
oh, that came out. I forgot about that. It's not a bad game.
uh,
It's just not as good.
Tetris 99 came out in February.
Oh
Now
yeah, there you go.
they did the Final Fantasy 9 release on
So,
Switch and Xbox One.
just as a quick aside, please do continue. Just as a quick aside, and this is not to throw shade on you. It's just how I knew it was gonna go. Pat and I were both tired, so we had discussed maybe just doing a shorter podcast.
Yeah.
It's how it always
Didn't
goes.
happen.
It's fine.
It's not gonna happen.
It's fine.
Yeah. So Jump Force came out in February.
Yeah.
Metro Exodus came out in February. Crackdown 3 came out in February. Far Cry New Dawn. So February, Yakuza Kiwami came out for PC, which I still want to buy at some point.
It's a good game. You should play it.
I'm
I'm right there with
pretty
you, though,
sure
band.
that's
I'm right
it.
there with you, band.
So February was the heavy month. January was small.
You jinxed it now. Yeah.
I jinxed it. Wait, how did I
Yeah,
jinx
it's
it?
not going to be a short podcast anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Because we talked about it.
But yeah, So January is going to be a light month, but on the 17th, I'm probably going to go ahead and pre-order Kakarot like
Okay.
next week.
I'm curious to hear
So
how it is. I want to know. My
I
January is gonna be full.
well, Iceborne.
Well, not just Iceborne. I want to go back and play some of the other games that are coming up for Goaty. I don't know that I'll have time to like beat them, and I'm not gonna like crunch, but I want to try and beat Outer Wilds because I think that game's really cool. I'm gonna talk about it during my week, and I definitely want to try Disco Elysium.
Yeah.
We gotta schedule Goaties.
Yeah, and I never played
Ah,
the Outer Worlds. Like I
Iceborne. I
want
was
to play
so
that.
excited for it, but we gotta do Goaties at some point in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Um, I'm expecting Kakarot to be mediocre, and
Yeah,
I want to go into it expecting that
that's
because
fair.
then if I go in, I won't have like my feelings hurt that bad.
Yeah,
I want it to be great, but I wanted a lot of Dragon Ball Z games to be great, and they weren't.
yeah. No,
So
that's super fair.
it's kind of like Naruto games.
Yeah.
This last one was good though, like the Boruto to Naruto.
At least, yeah, no, for sure. At least
Navi
it's still
Trigun.
better off than Bleach games.
Uh, I haven't seen Bleach, so I
Oh, all
don't
the
know.
games are bad.
Really?
Yeah, all of them, all two of them. Oh
Maybe
no, I'm
that's why
sorry,
there's
all
only two.
three of them. There was a fighting game on the Wii that required you to shake the Wiimote to slash and to like stab the Wiimote to stab, but because it didn't have high enough tech to be able to tell the difference.
It just like freaked out.
Yeah, I did. I
Oh
made it
man.
back in time. Didn't think I was going to for a little while there.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than me watching Double O,
Yeah, how you liking it still?
that's so good.
Yes.
I just got to some like more pivotal episodes. I want to say I'm 15 episodes or 16 episodes in,
Okay. To season one.
and yes,
To season one, chat. No spoilers.
Setsuna just like I'm on a cliffhanger right now because the last episode I watched, Setsuna had something like crazy happen to him,
Yeah.
and then you see something that you haven't seen the whole season yet,
Yeah.
and he's like reaching out towards it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, and then I was
So
like, I have to go.
by this point, you've been introduced to Alial Sanchez, correct?
Yes, the guy that made him kill his parents.
Alial Sanchez is such a good villain.
He's a great villain.
I love him so much, and I hate him so much, and that's what makes him great.
I'm still trying to understand his reason for being bad.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll get more explained where I understand it better, but right now I really don't understand why he's being evil.
Oh, you'll see. They get
I
into
don't
it.
hate that.
They get
I
into
want to
it.
make sure I say that. Like I don't hate the fact that I don't understand why he's evil because I feel like sometimes the best villain can be someone who's evil just to be evil.
Yeah.
But I mean like Dio. What other reason did he have other than he just wanted to be evil?
He just burned the dog alive because he didn't like the dog barking. It's the best. And the worst.
It's the worst, but it's the best.
I love Hisoka for that same reason. But like, do you remember slight spoilers for the first 5 episodes of season 2 of Iron Blooded Orphans? Do you remember Galen Mossa, the guy on Earth that tricks Tekadan, who's actually
Yes.
working for Rosto Alien? When I saw him and saw his character, I was like, oh, this is supposed to be like Alial Sanchez light. And he's nowhere near as good as Sanchez, in my opinion. I think Sanchez is way better of a villain. Galen Massa is extremely forgettable once you get through the first 10 episodes of IBO Season 2. I would
Yeah.
wager most people watching this podcast forgot Galen Massa existed until I brought him up.
I'm included in that.
But what's really cool is there's a character from early Gundam that both of them are actually based off of. And that
Really?
character's name is Yazan Gable. And he's in Zeta Gundam. And he is such a great villain. You hate him so much. He's like just flying through the battlefield, just shooting people, like blowing people up. And Camille's just like, why, Yazan? Why? And he's like, because it's a battlefield, Camille. Go home if you don't want to fight. Like, yeah.
I think that the show has done something really interesting for me where like they don't really tell you who people are, they just add them to the story and
Yeah.
you have to learn about them as you go.
Yeah, there is no audience surrogate.
Like stuff's just happening. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just boom, 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 and all of a sudden there's just someone new, and you're just like, who is this person? Most shows would like introduce them and then have like a backstory episode,
Yeah.
just a filler episode,
Yeah.
and you're just like, why are we seeing this? And then they come back and you're like, oh, now I know who this person is, and they just move on.
I think the like textbook example of that in Double O is when like you know who Grandmaker is because you've seen Grandmaker. He's been tooling around. He's been great. He's been doing stuff. And then like Billy Katagiri walks on screen, and within the spans of like 4 minutes, you meet Billy, you meet Billy's teacher, you meet all of Graham's new squad, and then it's just like, no, we're moving on. It's like, what?
Who are these people?
I don't know
Yeah,
these people yet. And like Graham knows them all, so he has no reason to introduce himself to them, you know? I
yeah.
like it's Double O's so good, man. The second season kind of falls apart. First half is really
Is it cool if I spoil a little bit whenever I talk about it for a second?
sure, I'll put my hands up. Spoiler hands up for Double O season 1 up to episode 15.
So that it's crazy how quickly they get rid of a character because like there's one episode that one of the during this 14th episode, no, the 15th episode,
I know
um,
which character you're talking
Graham
about
is
too.
Graham is talking to or well this other character, I think his name was Justin or something like that, or he was talking to two of the characters that have been working with Graham Maker this whole time,
Yeah.
and he was like bringing up his past and like talking crap, and then they're out flying out getting ready to try to capture a Gundam,
Hmm.
and he's just like, no, I'm gonna do this, and then he instantly just like flies in and gets killed,
Yep.
and it's just like, well, he doesn't have a story anymore.
Nope.
That's all I was gonna say.
But like the way that Graham reacts to it is actually really cool too.
Yeah, because like you would expect him to like make a big deal. I expected him to make a big deal out of it, and I was just like, he doesn't care.
Nope.
I mean, granted, he was like the guy was a jerk, so I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
it's
for sure.
kind of like understandable. But yeah,
Right, spoiler hands
yeah,
coming down.
you're good. I like the show a lot.
Yeah,
I'm
Double O's really
excited.
good.
I'm excited to eventually finish it.
I'm excited that this makes you want to watch more Gundam.
Yes.
Because I think Double O's great. Don't get me wrong. Double O's in my top 10, but it's not my top 5.
Gotcha.
And so, like, I'm excited to have you see some of the other ones that are. Also,
So-
Jen points out real quick that you want some help with that Kushala Daora. Let him know.
So I am working on trying to compile that list of my top 25 games of all time.
Yeah.
And now I kind of want to keep track of like the anime part. 'Cause I'm
Yes,
starting to forget
Patrick.
which animes I've seen.
Yes,
So I
Patrick.
want to keep track of it and actually like rank them. So I'm gonna be doing that.
Gunbuster, Cowboy Bebop number 1, Gunbuster number 2, IBO number 3.
You're talking about of my like favorites?
Yeah.
My number one favorite anime of all time right now is IBO.
Okay. Hunter x Hunter's number
Gunbuster's
3.
up
then.
there.
Hunter x Hunter's number 3. Then.
Yes. Hunter x Hunter is number 3.
Oh yeah, no,
Or
for
might be
sure,
number
man.
2.
When like as soon as Pat sees original Gundam, or even just like Zeta, like he's gonna understand. He's gonna just immediately come around on Char and just be like, "Yeah, no, Char's great. Char did nothing wrong." So
See,
look,
I was,
all I'm saying is Char did nothing wrong.
I was thinking about watching Wing next because it's the next easiest accessible one to watch.
Wing is good too. I like Wing. Wing again. It's in my top 15. It might be in my top 10. It's not my top 5.
Gotcha.
I need to go back and look at what my top 25 were of just Gundam.
I need to see what's the most accessible to me because that's kind of how I'm trying to keep them in an order of some type.
Just don't forget
like,
Gundam Info. That's the
Oh,
YouTube
yeah,
channel
yeah,
they
the
have that has
YouTube
a
channel.
bunch of it up for free.
Yeah.
That's the official release.
For some reason, I could only see Double O on YouTube in 720p. Yeah. I don't know if it's because I don't have YouTube Red or what, but it capped at 720p, whereas on Hulu it's in 1080.
Yeah.
So
Jen,
I don't know.
go ahead.
I was just saying, I don't know what's going on.
Jen, Mob Psycho 100 is in my list. My list right now for anime is pushed to the side because I have a list of tokusatsu. But I'm gonna get back to it. I really want to watch Mob Psycho. I only hear good things.
There's a lot of like new anime that I really want to watch that people have been saying is really good, but I've just like, man, I'm watching Gundam. Like, I don't have time to watch this new
Yeah,
stuff. Like,
that's.
they've been releasing more episodes of My Hero, and I haven't seen any of
I'm
that.
watching Tokuger. I'm watching Kamen Rider. It's.
Yeah, I'm watching Gundam. I don't have time for that.
I guess we should move to my week, unless you have any more thoughts.
Oh, I could talk about Gundam all night.
I could too. So yeah, my week. I went on vacation. Um. While I was on vacation, I had a lot of time in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was 18 hours one way, 18 hours back. 19 hours actually is what it wound up being on the way back.
Please, for the love of God, please don't tell me you re-downloaded Fire Emblem Heroes.
I downloaded 5 gacha games.
Oh no.
I downloaded Fate Go. I downloaded Girls Battle 2. I downloaded Azure Lane. I downloaded Fire Emblem Heroes again. And then the 5th one I think was like Honkai Impact, and I didn't finish the install on that one. Because I was like, you know
I
what,
feel
4
like
is enough.
I feel like you re-downloading Fire Emblem Heroes is way worse than me re-downloading League.
So, I didn't spend any money at all. That's not true.
On any of
That's
them.
not true.
Yeah, okay.
So in Azure Lane, I bought a month pass for like $5 that gave me like daily rewards. Um,
What is this game?
Girls Battle, stopped playing it. Fate Go, deleted it. Fire Emblem Heroes, didn't delete it. Didn't spend any money. Did get a couple new 5 stars. Turns out though, Azure Lane actually pretty cool. So instead of being just like a strategy game where you like move your characters around, not sponsored by the way, but if they wanted to sponsor us and give me some free, really high tier characters, that would be great. It's like your characters are ships, like human versions of ships, and kind of like Kantai Collection. And as you move them around this grid, you have a chance to get ambushed, or you can just attack, and you fight these other ships. But you do it by controlling the characters in a shoot 'em up. And so you're moving up and down the screen, dodging their bullets, trying to weave in through the bullet patterns. And then you have your specials that charge up, and you can use those. And it's actually pretty cool. I like it quite a bit. It also helps that they gave me 1 billion. Like, that's an exaggeration, but they gave me like 40 things to summon with when I logged in for the first time. All right, sure. Haven't spent any more money since then. Not going to. I think the monthly pass was good enough, and I have a pretty good crew now, so like I'm set. I'll probably only play it like every couple days. I don't think it's something that I'll put a lot of time into. And I didn't log into it or Fire Emblem today, because I don't want to get into the pattern of I have to log into these games every day. I don't want it to be like a work thing. I want it to just be when I have time, I can pull it up and play it. But that's all I really did with them.
So what you're saying is I need to download this game.
It's fun, actually. I like it. It is very monetized, and if I wanted to spend money, I could have gotten way farther. But even without that pass, I got so much free stuff that like I didn't really have any difficulties progressing. And you level the ships up, and as far as I can tell, the higher tier ships do more damage and have more health, but you could just level up the lower tiers and be fine. It seems pretty reasonable so far. I need to play it more to know just how much, but I like it. It's not bad. I'll put it that way. I will say it's a better gacha game than Fate Grand Order or Fire Emblem Heroes is my current opinion on it. But I re-downloaded Fire Emblem Heroes, and I used all my free summons, and I got a New Year's Eve, like whatever they call that their event there. Leith, which is one of my favorite characters from Fire Emblem 9, and I was like,
Wait, is it based off an
hmm.
anime?
I actually don't know. It could be. I just saw I literally just went to Fire Emblem Heroes, re-downloaded it, and then went to recommended games that are based on it. I've got to get a new
Interesting.
pair of headphones. Really bugging me. Um, no, I thought I would play those games on the way back, but I have Yoga, a Lenovo Yoga that I bought years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I brought some Tokusatsu with me on a flash drive. And so when I wasn't driving on the way back, I watched Tokuger and I watched 15 episodes.
Nice.
um yeah, I still really like Tokuger. I watched a couple of them in the hotel room too at Disney. Um I watched the first episode of Loop Hat Ranger. That was pretty good, and I watched the first episode of Kamen Rider Dino as well and thought that was really good. So, I can't watch Drive when I'm not at the computer because I'm doing the Twitter thread on Drive, and I will publicly say again, that's been fun. I'm glad I'm doing it. Got a lot of cool jokes from there. Never doing a Twitter thread like that again, where I have to take pictures during the episode because I could have finished Drive on this vacation.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to see more Drive, but I couldn't. But yeah, Tokuger's real good. If you're turned off by the first couple episodes the way I kind of was, because the characters just seemed really childish and didn't really come into their own, stick with it because those characters are really good now. I really like where that story's going. And then Dino was hilarious. So the main character of Dino, as I came to find out, kind of a wuss, which is really rare for Kamen Rider as far as I can tell. And he kind of has to be pushed into doing things, but
Mm-hmm.
I actually kind of really liked him. He was a fun character. So Kamen Rider Dino, worth a watch. Anyway, though, I'll stop talking about other stuff.
Real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Update. Azure Lane is actually an anime.
I may have to check that out then after I get done with my
It's
Tokusatsu.
the first season came out this past year in 2019.
Oh well, all right.
So it's a 10 episode season one. I don't know if they're gonna keep going with it, but there's 10 episodes right now.
Yeah, I didn't get to
Gonna
be
add
on
that to
last
my
week's
watch list.
podcast. I was in the chat, but I didn't get to be on the podcast. So I have been playing Outer Wilds, or I was before vacation. I really like that game. I think it's really cool. It's very different than what I thought it was going to be, and flying the ship is a massive pain. And I wish that they had maybe programmed the ship a little bit different. But the mystery and everything as you figure all that out is really cool, and I really like it so far. I did play some more Fire Emblem Heroes on my Switch, or not Heroes, Three Houses on my Switch while I started my third playthrough. But I'm not a big Isaac fan personally. Other than games, I'm about to get into vacation, I promise, but this is stuff from last week. I got the Biting Shark,
Bang!
Progress Key.
Shark's ability.
Cool. Goes with the belt that's around the back of the chair.
It's pretty cool.
Then I got my DJ gun in last week.
Nice.
I found something out about my DJ gun, Patrick.
Oh yeah.
So you remember how I have this sword,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Don't don't you love how my weeks have just turned into me showing off Tokusatsu stuff?
That's fine. I'm here
Then
for it.
I got this one, and these two connect, right? As it turns out, the DJ gun also connects
What?
into this giant halberd.
That's amazing.
So yeah, this thing's pretty cool, and it still functions as a gun.
That's amazing.
And then you can put the lock seat in there. Upside down, sorry. And then you.
That's amazing.
It's pretty dang cool, is all I'm saying. You know, you got this giant weapon here. Fine. All I'm saying
That's
is,
really
if
cool.
somebody tries to break into my house, this
The
won't do
moment they
anything to
see
them, but it'll
that,
scare
they're gonna
them.
think one of two things. One, this guy's insane. I need to get out right now. Or two, this guy plays with toys. He's insane. I gotta get out right now.
I keep accidentally hitting Kachi Doki Power while I'm trying to release the sword. Let go!
I guarantee you hit him one time with that heavy plastic weapon, and they're gonna be done. They're gonna be like, all right, I get it. I'm out.
Kamen Rider Dowser. I have not, no. This lock loose here. I'm not going to talk too much about the Disney trip here. I'll talk a little bit about it because I did take a whole bunch of pictures, and I'm going to do a video breaking them down and just walking through them and my thoughts on Disney. I will tell you right now, I think it was a worthwhile trip to take, but I don't think everyone should take it. First off, it's incredibly expensive. Far more expensive than I thought it was going to be. I thought the ticket, because we got a meal plan with the ticket, I thought that was going to be the most expensive part of it. Turns out, even with the meal plan, you still have to pay a little bit at every meal. And by a little bit, I mean like $40. And like every meal, man. Water is $3.50. Cokes are like $5. Like they have...
They don't even use lube, man.
There was a Max Lucado picture that I saw that my mom would love that was like this big. $735. Like, it's
crazy.
ridiculous, man. That said, the actual rides, like, my personal recommendation, get a ticket, eat outside the park every day, and just go see the rides you want to see. Go see the attractions and events you want to see. The actual, like, stuff that we went to see there was really cool, and I got pictures of a bunch of it, except for in Magic Kingdom, where a lot of rides, they didn't let you take pictures. I just don't have pictures there. I was incredibly disappointed with Star Wars Land, the Galaxy's Edge.
Really?
Because it's not a Star Wars planet that you know of. It's just a Star Wars themed area. And so, like, it's not Tatooine or Bespin or anything. It's just...
That's a missed opportunity.
It is. It's just a nondescript planet. There's no Star Wars characters walking around.
None?
None.
Not even stormtroopers?
Not a one. There were two on top of a wall the third time I walked through the area.
That's awful.
They have the sounds of Ewoks and Wookiees playing from speakers. No Ewoks or Wookiees walking around. No Star Wars music. The Star Wars rides were really cool. The actual, like, the Star Tour, where you go in and, like, Kylo Ren grabs you and pulls you around, that was sick. And the Millennium Falcon ride was really cool. It's unfortunately only 4 minutes long, and it's over 2 hours of wait line to get in there for a 4-minute long ride. So that's really unfortunate. But the actual ride itself was really cool. Other than that, it's basically all shops. And that's okay, like most of Disney's gift shops, right? But in other areas with gift shops, it's like themed gift shops. So you have like a toy shop, or you have like the clock making shop, and they have like all kinds of cool stuff in there. Almost every single one of the Star Wars shops was just the same stuff. And I don't mean like, oh, well, it's just more shirts and more lightsabers. I mean the same shirts, the same lightsabers, the same droids, the same cups. Like, at least separate that stuff out and do themed stuff, you know? Disney Star Wars disappoints children and adults alike since 1999. Pretty much, yeah.
Man, dude, that's so sad.
Yeah, no, it's the only thing I took a video for while I was at the park. because I took a video with me talking about it with my disappointed reaction. Like, I walked to the side of Galaxy's Edge and stood with people walking past me that worked there. It was like, no, this is extremely disappointing. So,
That's terrible.
so you actually saw that Kylo Ren ride? It was at Epcot 3 years ago. Yeah, they moved it over to Galaxy's Edge and they updated it with new stuff. It was cool, but also if you haven't seen the new movie, it had massive spoilers for the new movie in it.
Of course.
So like, that was a little weird. No, like, I'm in this weird place where I think the stuff that we saw there was super cool, but everything else about it is terrible. Fast Pass is supposed to ensure that you get to a ride quickly, right? That's what it's for. That's what you pay the extra for, and you kind of have to if you want to get around, because otherwise your waiting periods are like 65 minutes, 85 minutes, and that would be fine if you didn't have to schedule lunch. But if you're eating in the park, you have to schedule lunch, and you have to be there before your scheduled time, which means if it's like 11 and you want to ride the Millennium Falcon, and that's all you really care about riding, and the wait time's down to 90 minutes, but you have a 12 o'clock appointment, you can't go ride the Falcon. You say, well, just cancel your lunch appointment and eat somewhere else. If you cancel the lunch appointment and you got the dinner plan, you still have to pay as if you ate there because you made an appointment. Like, what?
It just sounds like they take your money, really.
Yeah, that's what it really is. And like, again, it's unfortunate because the people that work there are great. The people that work there went above and beyond over and over and over again to make sure that we had the best service, to make sure that all the kids were taken care of. Just really, really nice people. And it's just like, they're working there and they're doing their best. And the people doing the shows are doing their best. And the shows are great and the rides are great. It's just everything else about it is terrible. And we went to all 4 of the main parks. We went the first day to Hollywood Studios. Second day we went to Magic Kingdom. The third day we went to Animal Kingdom. And the fourth day we went to Epcot. Honestly, the most fun that I had was in Epcot. And Epcot is just the gift shops. But every area of Epcot is themed around a different part of the world. And so you have like Norway and Japan and China and Morocco and Nigeria, and you go through all these different places, and they have all these different themed stuff there, and it was just really cool. And Canada and the U.S. are there, but the U.S. was like 2 buildings. I guess it's because the park is in the U.S., but it's like, come on, man, I wanna walk around a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
There was even a place for Germany that was really cool, except that I don't drink anymore. And that's all that was really there. But like, it was cool to walk around it, you know? And I took a lot of pictures. That really was the most fun part of the whole trip for me, was just walking around Epcot and seeing all the different cool stuff they have there. We saw some really cool shows. If you have heard all this and still want to go, because I still think it's worth it. Absolutely, still think it's worth it. Canada was actually really cool. The big shows I think you need to see, if you don't have kids, you need to go see, well, if you have kids too, whatever. You need to go see the Indiana Jones stunt ride, or stunt show. They do like it's basically like Raiders of the Lost Ark. They do the big moments from that, and you get to see Harrison Ford's actual stunt actor do the stunts.
Oh,
The
that's
one who
cool.
was the stunt actor for Indiana Jones in that movie, you know? And it was just really cool getting, because they break it down, they show you how everything works, and it was really, really cool. And if you have kids, you need to go to the Finding Nemo Crush ride, which is not really a ride at all. It's like sitting down in front of a screen, and they have like a 3D crush that moves around and talks to the kids, and the kids had a really good time with that. A show I don't recommend, no offense to the people doing it, they did a good job, it just was really odd. The Finding Nemo musical. So
Why?
I love musicals. I should clarify that right now before people are like, "Oh, this is just." I adore musicals. In musicals, you rely on the actors to be able to portray the emotions that they're feeling. Actors and actresses using their faces, and their voices. For the Finding Nemo musical, it is people holding giant fish shaped like the characters. So you can't see the actors' faces, so you can only rely on their voices. But apparently, whoever wrote the musical didn't feel like the voices were good enough, and so throughout the entire musical, the characters will tell you how they are feeling. Uh, with such great lines as, I'm sad because I don't see my dad. I'm all alone. And I'm sad.
That's awful.
But, like, at the same time, some of the songs were really good. Like, Crush's song, Go With The Flow. That was a good song. They did a really good job with that. It was great. Although the guy singing did a great job. Don't get me wrong. Sounded nothing like Crush. Did a great job, though. The unforgivable sin, though, is that in that musical for Finding Nemo, they cut out Shark Bait Ooh Ha Ha, the song that's in the actual movie. And, like, how you gonna do that? It's the only song that's actually, it's like, Just Keep Swimming and Shark Bait. Those are the two songs in Finding Nemo. And you cut one of them from the musical? Also, they have Gil sing a song about overcoming loneliness. And I was like, Gil would never sing. Ever. I love, for clarification, I also love Finding Nemo. I don't know if I've ever talked about that on this podcast. That's like top 5 Disney movies for me. No joke.
I still never saw Finding Dory.
I haven't either. I felt
heard
like
it's
Finding
really
Nemo
bad,
was
though.
complete, you know, so like why?
Me too. And I heard Finding Dory was really bad.
That's what I've heard. One last ride I'll talk about, and then because I'll just talk about Disney all night. The Lion King. My little brother called it Lion the King, and so I almost did that. The Lion King show that they did there, with the actors coming out and dancing, and they had actors that were dressed like monkeys, and they were doing flips, and they were really good acrobats. And they had this really big, gruff guy sing Be Prepared, as if he was Scar, and they had like a ton of cool stuff during that. In the middle of that, had a guy, Pat, I sent you the pictures, had a guy like spinning fire in his hands, and then like he put it on his feet. And, like, he put the fire out afterwards. So, like, it was a real fire. And, like, he put it on his feet and, like, held it up. Like, was on his back and had it held up in his feet. And was like, ha, 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 ha. It was like, this guy loves his job.
Yeah.
And then
That's
after
awesome.
that, they gave him knives. And he was, like, spinning knives around. And I was like, okay, can I just watch this guy for, like, another hour? But, no, it was really good. It was great.
That's awesome. So did you go to Disneyland or Disney World?
Alexa, what's the Disney park in Florida? Dang it!
I'll do a Google search.
Okay, if you'll Google it, I appreciate it. Whichever one's in Florida, that's the one I went to. Yeah,
Because I know one of them is quote unquote better than the other. Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Disney World, says Eric.
Disney World, gotcha. Because I was about to say, I think Disney World is supposed to be the better one.
I want to give like 3 quick shout outs, and then I'll move on to the stuff I bought there, and then we'll move on. 3 quick shout outs are to Christopher, who works in the castle, Magic Kingdom Castle. I think they call it Cinderella's Castle. Dude was an amazing server. Took care of the kids, made sure the kids had all their stuff. Really, really cool guy. And at one point, they were doing this, like the Disney princesses were coming in and seeing all the kids, you know, so they could take pictures with them. And Jasmine, the girl who was Princess Jasmine, handed my youngest sister a magic wand and said, now spin it around real quick, and did this to Christopher when she did, and all the lights in the place started flashing. And so
that's so cool.
my youngest sister is convinced that she can do magic now. Shout out number 2 is to Maritza at Epcot at the San Angel that still gave us excellent service after my uncle tried to fix me up with her. and I was very impressed by her professionalism. Put it that way. And then the last one is to whatever, I don't know who he was, or if it even was a he, but the person in the Tigger costume at Silver Bell something, Crystal something, the breakfast place that we went to in Magic Kingdom, got all the kids up and doing a big conga line around the room, because they had told the person that they were gonna have to go soon, that like their time was almost up. So they were just like, nah, there's a bunch of kids I haven't been to yet. Let's just get them all up at one time so I can make sure I see them all. And I thought that was really cool. So when the Tigger was coming by, I was like, Tigger, you're the best. I really appreciate that. Like, high five. Went for the high five, grabbed it into a handshake, pulled me into a hug. And I was like,
That's awesome.
yeah, Tigger, you're pretty cool. You're pretty cool.
He's a G.
And so just those 3 shout outs. And then real quick, I'll show off the stuff that I got and we'll move on because otherwise I'll be here all day.
So what you're saying is you had a chance with a girl.
I had a chance with Tigger too. I mean, you know. Look, Maritza was very nice, very pretty, but you should never try to force someone to be in a relationship with someone else. It's not okay.
That's valid.
It's not okay.
Also, whenever they live like halfway across the United States.
Yeah, that's like 18 hours away, man. No offense, Maritza. I mean, if you see this, call me. I'll do this. Anyway, I got this Whisper of the Heart print.
Yeah.
I got this Nazca of the Valley of the Wind. Don't do Tigger like that. Avoids the obvious joke about Tigger. This really cool Porco Rosso print. And then I got this print as a gift for one of my non-blood adopted sisters that is older than me. Not legally adopted, but like adopted into the family. And then the last thing I got these 2 at the Matsuritsu. I was really disappointed. Mitsukoshi. I was really disappointed at the Mitsukoshi. Yeah. I went into the Mitsukoshi expecting it to be a Mitsukoshi, and that was my mistake because obviously Mitsukoshi, for those who don't know, is a Japanese department store with like multiple floors, and they carry a ton of stuff, including Rider and Sentai stuff. So I was super excited. Should have thought about it. It's in Disney in America, where Rider and Sentai are not popular. So I walk in and it's just Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z stuff everywhere. And I was like, oh, I see. They did have a couple model kits. I almost bought a Dija model kit, a high grade. But it was $90, and I remembered I could probably get that for cheaper on Amazon. Didn't do it. But instead, I got these 2 boxes that she told me at the counter were... Chat, you gotta stop. You gotta stop with the ticker. She told me at the counter these were blind boxes, where there would be something random in here of a Xeon and a Federation suit. Having now looked at the front where it says the name of the Gundam, I don't think that's true. I'm gonna open these up and we're gonna find out. I figured I'd do this live on the podcast.
Nice.
Also, there's tape on here, and I'm a child when it comes to tape. I have all these swords, and none of them are sharp. Aha! So this one was supposed to be a random... should I open... Hold on. Chat. I'm going to let you decide. Pat, you can have an input on this too. Should I open the Federation one first or the Xeon one first? Do you want me to save the Xeon one for last? Because I can.
Yeah.
Okay. Pat says save it. I feel like chat's probably going to back you up on that. It also says for ages 15 and up on here. Which is like, that's really high for like a model kit.
That's interesting.
Save the Zeke. Okay. Yeah, it's not a blind box. It's correct. It's also not a model kit like she said it was. It is metallic. It doesn't want to come out of its holder. It is a very heavy, actually, metallic unicorn. If I can do that, make it easier to see. So yeah, that's gonna be on my desk now, I guess. Uh, I was excited because I was like, oh man, these are gonna be really cool blind boxes to open, and we're all gonna be able to guess what they are. But like now we know they're not blind boxes. They're also not model kits. Because like when I asked for it, I was talking about like this. And
Gotcha.
she was like, "Oh yeah, we have those," and I was like, "Cool." However, this is super cool, and I think Band, particularly, because Band is also a fan of Char, is really gonna like this one. If I can get it out of the packaging, because it's Char's Zagak.
Nice.
Actually, like, I don't know if you can see it. There's actually like a lot of detail on there.
There for sure is. That view is perfect.
So, yeah, that's actually really cool. I may wind up trying to paint the unicorn, but that Zagak is the perfect color. That is going on the shelf. So if you want a red Zagak, go to Disney.
That's the only reason you should buy the ticket. You go and you buy that. That's it.
Go there and ask for a model kit.
Oh, what rides did you get on? What do you mean rides? No, like you went to Disney, right? What all did you do? Oh, I just went to the shop. And I bought this one thing and then I left. Like you spent $500 to go, and you were there for 10 minutes. Yeah, pretty much. I didn't even
But
stay
have
in the
you
hotel.
seen my Zagak? Yeah, no, Artaka, that's 100% correct. Like, Barnes & Noble's the way to go. I just thought while I was there, I'd check. And, you know, I'm not upset. These are cool. But, you know. I was trying to...
Already booking tickets. I bought 50.
Trying to get the stupid plastic off the unicorn's legs. There's this weird little, like, elastic band on here, and I can't get it off. For a beast of possibility, you're not being very helpful right now. You don't get that joke, but it's okay. You need to watch Unicorn, it's good. 50 red Zagogs. Okay. We'll move on then from, unless you have any questions about Disney, I guess I could open the floor.
That is a very close thing to say that will get you kicked out of Disney.
Oh, if only I had this. Things might have been different.
You could have had a blast. You're standing in line with people that have been waiting there for like an hour and a half. You're, hey, you want to see my Zagak? You're what? My kid's right here.
Yeah, I'll show you.
See it too.
I'll show you kid my Zagak. I don't mind.
It's red. Ew! Get this guy out of here. It's call security.
We'll make a Zagak out of Zagaks. Oh yeah. Before we move on, then, Pat, do you have any questions about a Disney trip?
I mean, you pretty much summed it all up. I mean, it sounds like while it is worth it to an extent, it really just depends on like what all you want to do. You should definitely make sure you have the money.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
And extra money, like not
'Cause
just a.
I budgeted just for the ticket. I did not budget for anything else because I was driving with my parents, so I didn't budget for gas either. And they didn't make me pay for gas because my role was taking a shift and driving. But I didn't budget for those extra food purchases. So,
Yeah.
did we stay for the? I stayed for the first 3 nights fireworks shows. The last night, we were going to leave at 5 p.m. so that we could drive for 5 hours 5-ish hours, and then sleep at a roadside park for like 4 hours, and then all be well rested to take our turns driving. Dinner plans had to get moved so that we didn't have to pay without eating, and we wound up leaving at 9 p.m. So while the fireworks were going off at Epcot, we left while people were distracted with the fireworks.
That's perfect time.
And I'm gonna be honest too, because like I'm bad with crowds. People that have listened to this podcast for a while know that I have pretty good hearing, and it means that when there's a lot of people talking, I kind of like panic. The fireworks ended, and everyone moved. Everyone. And I lost it. I lost all ability to discern who was talking. Thankfully, my oldest younger brother was there. I almost said youngest oldest brother, but oldest younger brother was there, and he kept talking the entire time so that I could focus on his voice. People talk really loud about stuff they probably shouldn't be talking about. I found out a lot of people's personal information that I did not want to know in that crowd while trying to leave.
I'm sure.
So, look, band, if Fire Emblem Heroes had a red Zagok in it, I would wail. That's all I'm saying.
He would spend all the money.
But anyway,
I'm ready to move on if you're ready.
yeah. Did you have another joke you're gonna tell? I'm sorry.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no. No.
Okay.
I did not.
So, we don't have any reviews for the week. Though, hopefully they'll start up again sometime soon. We haven't had any for like 3 weeks. Nothing big's come out.
Technically, there should be some coming up quick.
Yeah.
I'm sure Kakarot will probably have one like next week.
Oh, I'm sure. And with that in mind, I am back too, so should be good for the next couple podcasts. With that said, though, real quick, while we're talking about podcasts and weeks coming up, we have not yet decided. We were going to decide when I came back. We're going to talk about it. I think we were going to talk about it tonight, but Andrew's sick, so we're not going to talk about it tonight. After the podcast, when we normally talk about this stuff, just a little behind the scenes, we were going to try and start scheduling Game of the Year. It is possible, and it has happened before, week of Game of the Year, we just don't have a podcast that week. So be prepared. Maybe a week coming up that we don't have a podcast because we're recording Game of the Year. Because those discussions either are 18 hours or 4 hours.
But there's very much a potential in between of that too.
Yeah, it could be literally any. So please be prepared for that in the upcoming weeks when we get that scheduled. We normally schedule it in the last week of the year, but I had that trip that I went on.
We all just had a lot of stuff going on in December.
With that in mind, though, don't forget, Road to Goaties are still coming. There's still more of those to go around. So I didn't even get to record the Switch ones before I left, other than 3 Houses. I think I got the 3 Houses one up. I did. Yeah, I did. But there's still more Switch games that we got to talk about, like Link's Awakening and Cadence of Hyrule and stuff like that. But anyway, back to the news. I'm sorry. AGDQ. Pat, do you remember what AGDQ is?
Speedruns.
We have the great Breath of the Odyssey debate, too. I'm not going to say it won't happen, because it is entirely possible that it could. That's all I'm going to say.
It won't happen because the only game coming out this year is Yakuza 7.
That's true. Yeah, AGDQ, Awesome Games Done Quick, is a speed running charity event where a bunch of speedrunners come together and they play a bunch of games, try to beat them as quickly as they can to raise money to combat cancer. And so what we normally do is I go down the list of games that are in the event, and either Andrew or Pat will stop me when there's a game that they want to talk about or that they're excited to see. So I figured we just do the same this year. I'm right there with you, man. I love GDQ. So this year we have A Hat in Time. By the way, GDQ is going on right now. So, you know, hey, if you want to tune into some of these after our podcast, you can. A Hat in Time, which has already happened. Metroid Zero Mission, which has already happened. Mega Man 7. Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction. Star Wars Escape from Yavin 4, The Lost Maps, The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, Super Mario Bros. 3, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. By the way, Skyward Sword in 2.5 hours. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. That's my least favorite Zelda game, I think. Probably. This is not the time for that discussion. I don't know why I brought it up. Dino Crisis 2, Real Mist Masterpiece Edition, Riven, the sequel to Myst, Myst 3, Exile, Bomberman Hero, that's a good game. That's a good game. Chameleon Twist 2, Razor Freestyle Scooter, I'd never heard of that game in my life, and the projected time is 10 minutes, so... Tetris Sphere, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, that's a co-op run. Also, I forgot to mention Super Mario Bros. 3 is a race between 3 runners, so good about that. How far are they going in Binding of Isaac? That run has already been completed, and it looks like it went for a little over an hour. Don't know. It's R+7. Then Skyblazer, any percent. Legend of the Mystical Ninja, it's a low percent race. ActRaiser, that's a race. Battletoads and Double Dragon. The Great Circus Mystery starring Mickey and Minnie. That is a incredibly strange game if you've never seen it before. Donkey Kong Country 3, 103%. Sonic Colors, Sonic CD, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic the Hedgehog. Pat hasn't stopped me yet at all, and that worries me. Fallout Anthology.
Why do you say that worries you?
Just because, like, none of this stuff appeals to you, so, like, I'm worried what it's gonna be that makes you go, yeah! The Outer Worlds, not the Outer Wilds. Outer Worlds.
Really? That game just came out.
Yeah, and the projected time is 25 minutes.
Wow.
So we'll see if they can do that. I know the world record is like 20, I think, which is pretty crazy. Doom Sigil, a medieval Doom 2016. By the way, Doom speedruns, if you've never seen them, are incredible. Who's doing Fallout? Fallout Anthology is being done by Tomato Angus. Then we have Bayonetta 2, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Tron Evolution.
Really?
Yeah, San Andreas, any percent. Tron Evolution, Eagle Island, The Mummy Demastered, Hotline Miami, Chippy, Brodal Renovations, never heard of that game before, Manifold Garden, Battletoads for the Game Boy, any percent, Adventures of Lolo, Adventure Island 2, Herberick, Ninja Gaiden 2, Super Castlevania 4, Pokemon Sapphire, any percent glitchless. You guys have never seen a Pokemon speedrun that aren't glitchless? Those are actually really good. Because it's like so weird. Like you have one Pokemon they're gonna use, and they're gonna make sure that Pokemon has just the right moves and just the right slots, and they're gonna blitz through all the dialogue, and they're just gonna beat it with that one Pokemon. At least that's the way the red runs are. I haven't seen the Sapphire one, so I'm excited for that. I didn't even think about San Andreas being great because all the bugs. Yeah, I bet you can do some crazy stuff there. Ninja Gaiden 2, I already said that. Bonus game 2, Terraria, Moonlord Normal Seeded.
Really?
Projected for an hour. That'll be really cool because Terraria is also a game that has a lot of randomness in it. So, like, it's seeded to have the items they want, but they still have to get the drops. So that could be a really cool run. I'm really excited for this one. The Legend of Zelda series, a Zelda relay, 3.5 hours is projected. The runners are Blunt Bunny, Cantaloupe Meme, or Cantaloupe Peem? I've never heard of that runner before, but maybe he's good. I don't know. Green Mario, Josh RTA, Pro JN, Rezovaix, TGH, Justin Man 114, and RC Drone. So that's a relay where they beat one and like immediately hand the controller over to the next person to beat the next one. That sounds super cool.
That sounds really cool. I'm sure they're gonna use like some glitches and stuff.
Oh, I'm sure because it doesn't say like glitchless or anything like that. Yeah. Also, remember if you missed these, that's okay. There's always a Reddit thread that has a VOD for them. In fact, I could link the Reddit thread right now and be a cool guy. you guys know that I could be a cool guy? Did you know that?
You're always a cool guy.
Aw, thanks, Patrick.
welcome.
Hold on, I'm trying to paste it. There we go. There's the thread. If you want to see, it should paste on both. If you want to see the thread for yourself, you can follow the timestamp. If you click on the timestamp, you can actually go to the YouTube archive of that individual stream. Final Fantasy VII, any percent co-op relay. Or no, I'm sorry, Final Fantasy VIII, any percent co-op relay. Between Luzbelaim, Mutski, and Toju. Then, thanks, Jen. I appreciate that. Vector Man 2 by Winslanator. If you have never seen Vector Man, projected is 14 minutes on that. Check it out. It's 14 minutes, man. Check it out. Vector Man's great. Shadow Dancer, Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master, Mystic Defender, Ghouls and Ghosts, any percent race between Aquas and Dozebox Falco. Ugh, words, I'm tripping over them now. Garfield, Caught in the Act, Contra Hardcore, which is a great game, Chase Surrender Mode by Nick B. Go Hard, Blazing Chrome, not as good as Contra Hardcore, Cybernator, Super Monkey Ball, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade version, any percent by El Rock, Mushihime-san Futari, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, the European Extreme Foxhound difficulty by Raichu MGS, projected an hour 18. So if you want to see somebody beat Metal Gear Solid 3 in an hour on Foxhound difficulty, Extreme Foxhound. Then there's a Ocarina of Time 100% no source requirement by ZFG. That will have glitches, but they have to get everything. 305, 3 hours, 5 minutes. Then we have Cadence of Hyrule. Again, came out last year. This will be its first time at GDQ. Super hyped for that. And it is a story mode run. I don't know if it's co-op or a race. It doesn't say. But it has Goof and Spoody Biscuit running it. 28 minutes projected. Mega Man 4 to 6, any percent relay. Mega Man races are always hype at GDQ. That is Dark Terex, Feral Pigman, Not Riley 4, Peapot.1, Resisting Frame, I can't read, it's probably because I've been up for 30 hours, Sage Hero, Cord, Lookin' Toad, and Oon. Bonus Game 3 with Bonus Runner, don't know what that's going to be yet, that's still hidden. Super Hydlide, Hoshiwo Miru Hito, Sword of the Black Stone, Castle of Dragon, Wild Animal Sports Day, The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends, Jurassic Park 3 Down and Defender, Cybergenic Ranger Secret of the Seventh Planet, Mega Man 3 The Robots Are Revolting, Miracle Row Pits Adventure in 2100, Barbie, any percent race between Kajuk 87 and Sheriff, Normie's Beach Babe Orama, Dr. Hauser, Night Cry, Fatal Frame, that could, any percent normal run of Fatal Frame could be really cool. RE4 New Game Pro by Mike Wave in an hour 34 is the projected. The Last of Us Left Behind DLC, any percent, 7 minutes projected. No idea how that's going to happen. Pat, Jack 2, 80% race by Headstrong and Sicknar, an hour 5. That will be incredible. Marvel's Spider-Man, the Heist DLC, in 54 minutes. That could be really cool. Earth Defense Force 5 DLC Mission Pack 1 Fencer Class Hard Difficulty One-Handed by my man Half Coordinated in 55 minutes. If you have not seen Half Coordinated, he does a ton of runs with one hand because he only really has the use of one hand, and he is doing an EDF 5 run for DLC missions hard on the Fencer, which is already tough to play with two hands, proving it can be done. My man Half Coordinated in here, showing no matter how you are, no matter what kind of problems you have, you can still be one of the best gamers in the world.
It's really cool, man.
For a second there, the caster in me from back when I used to cast tournaments came back. I don't know if you can tell. No, Half Coordinated's great. He did a really amazing Vanquish run. You can look that up on YouTube. A couple years back at HDQ, and it was really good because not only did he do it one-handed, he also, they hit a certain tier where Lucas, I can't remember the guy's name, it's like something Jin. I almost said Lucas Jin, that's a completely different person. had to hold his other hand the entire run.
Dang.
Bionicle, the video game, 2003. I do not know, actually. I have not heard of Broly Legs. No. Then from there, DMC 5, new game Human by D Cosmic in 2 hour 18. Another bonus game that we don't know yet. Destiny 2, Last Wish, All Encounters. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, the house bid war, where you get to bid using your donations on which house they're going to use, by Claris in an hour 45. I'm really interested to see how they plan that. Definitely going to be some warp usage there. The original Bioshock, Wolfenstein Youngblood, any percent co-op. Subnautica, any percent. The Sun and Moon. Yeah, Subnautica in an hour 5, man. It's pretty interesting to me. I think that'll be really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
140, Squidlet, Action Hink, Super Fancy Pants Adventure, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, any percent Nosferatu run, 45 minutes. Gato Roboto, Darkened Sky, Toho Luna Nights, Reverse Boss Order, VVVVVVV, Glitchless any percent in 22 minutes. Celeste, Farewell in 20 minutes. I really want to see a runner do that. I really do. Also, thanks, man. I had a lot of fun casting. I wish I could still do it, but not any local tournaments around me anymore. That all kind of died out in our area. And there's still like some guys near where you live, Pat, that do some fighting game tournaments, but I think you have to be a student there to be able to part of that.
It wouldn't surprise me. I don't see any stuff anymore, so I don't know.
Yeah. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX Plus, all-time trials plus DLC in 40 minutes. Pac-Man Arrangement. Pokemon X and Y, yet another Pokemon run. This one in 4 hours, 10 minutes. Could be really interesting. Mega Man X4, 0, 100%. Mega Man X3, 100%. Mega Man X, 100%. Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. Oh, I'm sorry. Mega Man X is a race. Just to clarify. Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker in an hour 35. Then there'll be some TaskBot runs. Followed by a Super Mario 64 randomizer. Looks like a race, too. Between 3 runners. Could be really cool. Super Mario World, One Mind 11 exit co-op. Dark Souls by Rigol, 45 minutes. Control by Brianato in 116. That could be really cool. Trauma Center New Blood. We're almost to the end of the list, I promise. For anybody that doesn't care about HDQ, that's like, man, this goes on and on. Tony Hawk's Project 8, any percent. Jumping Flash. Kuru Kuru Kururin. Super Cat Bros. Bonk's Adventure. Castlevania the Dracula. X Chronicles Bad Ending. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix HD Critical Level 1 any percent Character Bid War by Pessimist for an hour. Blasphemous All Bosses Glitched. That could be really cool in an hour. Katana Zero all stages in 36 minutes. Clone Hero, Guitar Hero Showcase. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Randomizer Open Mode Crowd Control Difficulty by Andy and Warp World in 3 hours 30. They did that last year. That run was incredible. You should check it out if you haven't. Untitled Goose Game, all main tasks by Tasselfoot, 25 minutes. That's going to be really cool. Super Mario Maker 2, 4v4 blind relay race. They did this last year as well with Super Mario Maker 1. Was really cool. With Orator, Barbarian, Carl Sagan, Pangea Panga, That B721, Grand Pooh Bear, Just Cook, and Ryu Car. I got it. I almost messed up the name, but I got it. And then Super Metroid Impossible by Oats and Goats. TaskBot is the tool-assisted bot. It runs the game for you instead of you running the game, but you have to set it up, and then TaskBot will do some crazy stuff that actual humans could not do. But super cool. Lot of cool looking runs there, honestly. Very excited for that. Very excited for that. So please check out AGDQ.
That's exciting, man.
Yeah, I really want to check some of those out after I've had a chance to sleep.
I still never feel like I have time to watch them. So this year I'm going to try to make myself watch at least one just because I want to be able to see how they work.
I misunderstood chat's question about the TaskBot. I'm sorry. TaskBot is playing Super Mario Bros. 3 Warps by Lord Tom, Tompa, and Maru, and Super Mario Bros. 2 Warpless by Algar and Andrew G. So, past that news-wise, the weird WWE 2K20 bug that happened. So, for anybody who doesn't know, in the year 1999, at the 31st of December, a bunch of computers broke. It wasn't as bad as everybody projected it to be. There were people that thought it was like the end of the world. I was alive
Hey,
then.
baby.
And even as a little 9-year-old child, I knew it wasn't the end of the world.
I was 3.
But we didn't learn our lesson, is what I'm trying to say. Because what happened then was that the system clock on the computers rolled over to a number that it didn't have available. It didn't exist in its systems because it was never projected to go that long. Which, if you think about it, since at that point we were using Windows 98, was really dumb of them not to consider that it was going to cross over there at some point. Regardless,
Yeah.
a bunch of computers died because of that and had to be sent back in and rebooted, and it's fine. It got fixed. Everything was fine. 20 years later, WWE 2K20 comes out. And if you were trying to play it after the rolling over of the clock, of the system clock, the game just refused to boot. Because it read that you were playing it in an impossible time. What's even dumber about this is that the PS4 and Xbox One, and of course your PCs, system clocks rolled over fine. It's not the system that had the problem. The game wasn't coded to work after the year rolled over.
When the game came out last year. It's really bad.
It's fixed now, because of course it is. Of course they patched that as soon as they possibly could. But, like, how do you make that mistake, man?
Somebody should have got fired.
Oh, I guarantee you somebody got fired, man. Like, what is that?
Like, the game's already bad enough.
It's so stupid. I don't even fully understand how it happened.
That's really bad.
The game should, like, already be coded to handle it. Because 2K19 didn't have this problem. The outside, it didn't work and you couldn't play it. Yeah, it's a blessing in disguise. So that's really dumb. But they fixed it. So, hey, I guess we'll cut them some slack. But if we had an award for best ironic bug of 2020, as Bam pointed out, it absolutely would.
This is why Sonic 4 is the best game.
Because it doesn't do this. From there, IGN made a decision this week that I find to be really strange.
I think it's very stupid.
They are going from a 10-point scale on their reviews to a 100-point scale on their reviews. So, real quick, I get moving away from the 10-point scale. The 10-point scale doesn't work. The 10-point scale could work if we were honest with it, but it doesn't work because we're not.
Mm-hmm.
With a 10-point scale, anything below a 6 is unplayable. So, no dice. Which is ridiculous, because it should be a 1 if it's unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
If it's playable and it's bad, it should be like a 3 or a 4. If it's playable and it's average, it should be like a 5. Or, I guess, 5 or 6, right? As it is now, bad games are 6s, average games are 7s, and good games are 8s. And then only the best games get 9s, and, like, nobody gets 10s.
Mm-hmm.
Because the 10-point system doesn't work with the way that we decided, that everybody decided we have to do this. That's why so many places have gone away from the number system altogether. Because it doesn't work. If you're not going to go away from the number system, go down to a 5-point system. Where you can go, 1 is unplayable, 2 is bad, 3 is average, 4 is good, 5 is great. That's simple.
Mm-hmm.
So IGN has gone to a 100-point system. There's a couple reasons why I think this is stupid. The first is that there's literally no difference between a 100-point system and a 10-point system because they're going to start giving things 83s. That's just an 8.3. It's just an 8 and a third. You could have just put 8.3. And in their minds, I'm sure 60 looks better than 6. But it's the same thing.
So my thing is, if you're already having trouble deciding, like, okay, it's an 8. It's not an 8, but it's not a 7. It's
Yeah.
somewhere in the middle.
6.5, 7.5.
Yeah. Why are you gonna have an easier time figuring out what's a 77 and what's a 76?
100-point scale systems are so dumb because it's like, oh man, this game was a 62 and I liked it. But this other game, it's a 65 and it's worse than the 62.
So, who is it that has the scale where it's like, don't buy it, and it's like rent it,
ACG.
get it on sale?
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
That's a great system.
That's exactly how it should be.
Decibels.
There should be nothing else.
Jen, I don't think they'll ever give a 10. I think the furthest, like the lowest they'll go is 25. I don't think they'll ever go below that.
The reason I say that they should do what did you say it was? HCG?
ACG, yeah.
ACG? Yeah, the reason they should do it that way is because it's still subjective, but it's a lot easier to say, hey, this game is worth playing, but I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
So get the experience by renting it.
Yeah.
Than it is to be like, oh, this game is like a 6.2. Because that's
what does that mean?
exactly. That's beyond subjective.
What
That's
does the
literally like
0.2 mean?
so it's a 6, but it's not a 7. So I'm gonna give it an arbitrary number. So it's not as bad as a 6, but it's not as great as a 7.
Pat, what
And
about when
giving
they
it
start
a 6
saying
and a half would not very well say it's more or less in between. So I'm gonna give it lower than a 6.5, but a 6.1 is not enough, and a 6.4 is too much. So I guess I gotta give it a 6.3.
Pat, what about when they start doing like 7.32?
I'm done with IGN, man.
You know they will. That's the worst part.
This is like a 74.7. That's so arbitrary. Like, why? That makes no sense. Look, this game's not a 74. It's not a 75. It's not a 74 and a half. But it's not a 73. And it's not a 74. So it's like a 74.5. But really, it's not that. It's more like a 74.25. But I think it's just a little bit better than that. So it's a 74.27839.
Continuous.
Yeah, repeating.
Oh. You want to talk
IGN,
about...
shut up.
You want to talk about the other IGN thing while we're here?
Sure.
So, IGN, and we won't spend too much time on this because, like, we could be here forever. IGN decided on the best games of the decade.
I didn't even look at this. Oh, son of a bitch.
So, Pat, I figured we'd do the same thing. I'd roll through them, and when you had one that you cared about or that I cared about, we'd stop and talk about it.
Yeah, I'm going to try to read it as you go.
Okay. So, be prepared, everybody. I don't know the whole list. I only know up to, like, 2012. But be prepared.
The likelihood of this being good is slim.
So,
it's IGN.
They start with 2010. And they say that they just basically go, these are the best games of each year, right? Amnesia: The Dark Descent. That's a good game. Absolutely. I'm fully in support of that. That is a good game. Amnesia: The Dark Descent is a good game. Civilization 5. Sure. Good game. Call of Duty Black Ops. The original Black Ops.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
For sure.
Fallout New Vegas. Sure.
For sure.
New Vegas is a great game. Mass Effect 2. Absolutely. Mass Effect 2. Great game.
Never played it.
I will let you know they play it really safe with the stuff that I've seen so far.
It looks like it.
Minecraft? Sure.
It kind of has to be.
Yeah. NBA 2K11.
I preferred 2K12, but okay.
Red Dead Redemption, the first one.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. StarCraft 2. Yeah. It's a good game. Now, we're still in 2010, by the way. There's 99 entrants on this list, and we're 11 in from 2010. Super Mario Galaxy 2. I'm one of those weird people that likes Galaxy 2 more than Galaxy 1. Still think Galaxy 1's a better game, but sure. Super Meat Boy. Batman Arkham City.
For sure.
I would argue Arkham Asylum is better. But Arkham Asylum
City's
didn't come
really
out
good.
this decade, and Arkham City did, so that's a technicality. They got you on there. But yeah, Arkham City's really good. Dark Souls. Yes. Even though they use a picture of Dark Souls 2, and they talk about Dark Souls 2's like lore in the blurb, but it's Dark Souls 1. 100%. Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
The game was bad.
So it wasn't as bad as Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I don't think MVC3 was good. I think it was fun, but I don't think it was like one of the best games of the decade. Just chat, just no, stop, hold up, nope. Portal 2. Saints Row the Third.
I
Sure.
didn't really think that game was that good.
That was a fun game, but I don't think it was like one of the best games of the decade.
It was fun, but that's where it stops.
Oh, I'm right there with you on Dark Souls 2. Sure. No, it was regular Marvel vs. Capcom 3. We're talking.
No, it said Ultimate.
Oh, did it say Ultimate as well? I just saw the blurb that
Mhm.
said regular. That's not fair, though. You can't just go, well, it's both.
Yeah.
Because Ultimate was a different SKU. I know, I worked at the game store at the time. Terraria? Sure, that's a great game. Portal was fun. Skyrim? I don't like Skyrim, but I'll admit it's probably most people's favorite game of the decade.
I enjoyed it the first time.
So sure, I'll give that one up. Animal Crossing New Leaf for the 3DS? Sure.
We're in 2012 now.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm loading in. Borderlands 2? I don't agree. I think Borderlands 2 is a great villain. I don't think it's one of the best games of the decade. Diablo 3? I like playing Diablo 3. I don't think it's one of the best games of the decade. Far Cry 3. Sure. I agree with that. I think Far Cry 3 was the best Far Cry that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Really memorable, really good villains. Fez?
I don't even know what this is.
Fez is a cool idea. I don't think it's one of the best games of the decade, but sure. Again, subjectivity, right? It's their list.
Mm-hmm.
Fire Emblem Awakening? Sure. It's one of the weaker Fire Emblems in my opinion, but sure. FTL? Absolutely. FTL like set the stage for a lot of indie games. Really, really cool game. I love it. I don't think it should be on this list. Hotline Miami? That game's great. I don't know if it should be on this list. Mark of the Ninja? Another great indie game. Don't know it should be on this list. Again, for anybody that's like, this is really, like, Trade's just being real harsh. Think about all the games that came out in 2010, 2011, 2012 that have not been brought up yet. Because they're not going to be, because we're moving by year. Pokemon Black and White 2? Sure. Best Pokemon games to come out in a long time. Absolutely. Spec Ops The Line? 100%. That game, very unique. Really cool story. Really cool game. Liked it. Quite a bit. Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1. Absolutely. No doubt in my mind. 100%.
For sure.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That's the one to choose. That's a great Assassin's Creed
2013.
game. Absolutely.
That's my favorite one.
Dota 2, nobody can question that. Like, even if you don't like Dota, absolutely one of the best games of the decade. Dragon's Dogma, Dark Origins specifically. Yes. Yes. So good. Final Fantasy XIV Oh, Realm Reborn. Yes. Yes. Although that's a spoilers picture. Gone Home. So, I'm going to say something really rude here. Don't take this the wrong way, because I actually really liked Gone Home. One of the only ones of the walking simulators that I actually really liked. Do you ever hear anybody talk about Gone Home now? Like, because to me, I just want to put this on the table.
Know what it is.
If you are doing a best games of the decade list, it needs to be games people are still talking about today. Games that people are going like, well, yeah, this is cool, but do you remember when this game did this and it was so much better? I like Gone Home. I'm one of the people, like, year it came out, all my friend group hated Gone Home because they're like, you just walk around, you don't do anything. I thought it was really cool. I don't think it should be on this list. Grand Theft Auto 5. Sure. That's a game people still talk about today. People still playing it today. Absolutely. Kentucky Route Zero. Again, like Gone Home. That's a game that I enjoyed. Probably shouldn't be on this list. Papers, Please. Sure. I don't know that I think it's one of the best games of the decade, but it had a big lasting appeal. People still talk about it today. It's really interesting, you know? It's not really fun to play, but it's cool. Spelunky, sure. Specifically the Enhanced Edition. I'm waiting for the next one to load. Pat, if you see it, you can go.
Oh, it's The Last of Us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Specifically.
In 2014.
Yeah, now we're into 2014. I don't know what 80 Days is.
Me either.
Yeah. We're just gonna move on from there. Again, we're in 2014 now. Some of your favorite games haven't been on this list. They're not gonna be because they don't have a chance now. Bayo 2? Sure, Bayo 2 is a great game. Absolutely. People still really like it. It's almost impossible to collect a list of every game that deserves to be on here. Yeah, absolutely. With the amount of effort they put in, for sure. Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't like these games, but absolutely I think they should be on this list.
Yeah. I don't like them either, but they literally made like YouTubers
2014 to 2016, they took over YouTube. And so did Hearthstone, the next game. I think it absolutely deserves to be on this list. PT, 100%. PT like took the world by storm. To the point where people were selling PS4s that still had PT downloaded on it because it was impossible to download anymore. Like that, absolutely. Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, absolutely. A game that had a unique system that nobody had ever seen before. Got a lot of hype. People still talk about it today. Cough game theory. Oh, Matt Pat. How I hate you. I should not have said that. I'm very tired. Look, just clarify. I don't hate Matt Pat. Man's just making a living. I hate his videos. Because most of the time they're low effort. I'm just gonna I make low effort videos too. It's fine. But I don't present myself as if I'm a scholar that is educating people that don't know any better. So, you know, I felt like I tried to walk that back and I just walked it forward. We're gonna move on. Shovel Knight. Absolutely. That's 100%. Shovel Knight's great. Bloodborne. 100%.
2015.
Huge impact on the industry. Matt Pat kind of killed FNAF. Look, Matt Pat. This is my thing. Matt Pat made a theory, and the creator of Five Nights, like, Patrick is over here like, look, no, just stop. Matt Pat made a theory, and the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, Scott Cawthon, literally told him on Twitter, no, this is not true. Here's why. Here's the proof to show it. And Matt Pat's next video was Scott Cawthon changes the lore because I had it right. And it's like, no, he proved you wrong though, bro. Like, he's the creator of the game is telling you you're wrong. Don't double down.
That means nothing, man.
It just also like another big issue. I'm sorry. Another big issue I have with Matt Pat, and it doesn't happen as much anymore. But it used to happen a
real
lot.
Quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave the call and come back. I'm having issues. Like you're like glitching for me.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. It doesn't happen as much anymore, to be fair, for what it's worth. But it used to happen a lot. Is that he would just take his theories from like Reddit or at the time NeoGAF, and like they wouldn't be like actual thought put into them and like cool ideas like what the channel was sold as. It was like, hey, here's this guy's theory that I found about how Link has actually been dead the entire time in Majora's Mask, and I'm just gonna present it as if it was my own theory without giving any source work or credit.
It's a great game.
It is. Majora's Mask is amazing. I could also be glitching because this IGN page has an ad that won't go away. Anyway, we'll continue the IGN list now, and
You're
I'll
still
stop.
glitching
Yeah.
super hard. For
Yeah,
me.
it's probably because of this IGN page. We'll get through the rest of these games, and it should stop.
Did you want me to read them on my end and see if that helps?
Sure. Let's give that a shot. I'll close this window, and you can read them on your end, and that should help quite a bit.
So
Watch,
we're
I'm
in
not glitching at all
2015,
anymore, am I? Now I'm completely smooth.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was that page.
like your
Okay.
voice isn't robotic anymore either.
Yeah.
So you already said Bloodborne for 2015.
Yep.
There's Metal Gear Solid 5.
Bad story. Bad ending. Good game though.
Pillars of Eternity.
Sure. Absolutely.
Rise of the Tomb Raider. Now this is the one where they brought her back, right?
Yeah.
I
No.
liked this.
No,
game.
the one where they brought her back was called
No,
Tomb
it
Raider.
was just called Tomb Raider.
Yeah. This is not how do you have this list and you put Rise on there and not just Tomb Raider?
I don't know.
I don't know about that one, Chief. Send that one back in the oven. It's not done yet.
Rocket League, for sure. Great game.
Took the internet by storm too.
Mm-hmm. The Witcher 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I bounced off that game real hard. Still want to do my redemption arc, but can't deny it's a good game.
Undertale.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And Yakuza 0.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we're getting into 2016. So we got Dishonored 2.
Okay. Sure, I didn't like Dishonored 2 as much as Dishonored 1, but sure.
Doom. This is the 2016 version.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great game.
Firewatch.
Okay, I liked Firewatch. Sure.
You broke up for me again.
I said I liked Firewatch, so sure.
Inside.
Okay, yeah, Inside was a cool game.
MLB The Show. I agree with this.
Okay, sure.
It's still really doing well. Also, Overwatch kind of has to be on this list,
Sure.
even though it was made after Dota 2,
Yes.
right? But it's fine. Persona 5.
Sure. Hey, Pat, you know what I just realized when you said Persona 5? There's only been 3 RPGs other than Persona 5 on this entire list.
Oh yeah, it's probably
Mass
gonna
Effect
get nothing
2.
but worse.
Skyrim, and Pillars of Eternity. There hasn't been any other RPGs.
It's IGN. What did you expect?
Hold on. We're in. So we got no Digimon story, but sure, that's yeah. We got no Tales games whatsoever so far. What the heck, IGN? We got. Where is Kingdom Hearts and Nier?
I don't know.
What
man.
year was Nier 1? Nier 1 was like 2008, maybe? No, it was 2010! Where's Nier on this list?
Didn't make the cut?
Nier was robbed again!
You can't blame me and Andrew this time.
Oh, this time just IGN. Please continue, I'm sorry.
Hey, Stardew Valley,
Yeah, that's a great game.
for sure. Super Hot VR.
Okay, sure, yeah.
The Witness.
Okay, sure.
Oh, you're frozen for me again.
Am I? Moving on. Moving on the stream. The viewers can see me.
You might. Why don't you try leaving the call and coming back real quick?
Okay, let me put something up over the screen so it doesn't show all my friends. They can still hear us, by the way. And
Better?
see about that. Is that any better?
A little bit.
Yeah, big companies
Mm.
don't like RP.
Titanfall 2
Yes.
and XCOM 2. Yeah, I
So
don't want to go there.
I love XCOM 2. For clarification, XCOM 2 is built off the skeleton of XCOM 1. XCOM 1's the one that got the Long War mod. XCOM 1 came out within this decade. The remake. How do you not have XCOM 1 on there? Please continue.
Didn't make the cut. 2017, Destiny 2.
Sure.
I mean, I guess.
I think Destiny 1 was the bigger
Divinity.
hit at the time, but sure.
Divinity Original Sin 2, Definitive
Sure.
Edition.
Absolutely.
Dragon Quest 11.
There you go. Some good taste finally.
Oh god. Fortnite.
You know what? I may not like it. I can agree with it though.
Hollow Knight.
Yes. There you go, IGN.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay, sure.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Sure.
It's
Don't
just
agree.
Mario Kart.
I don't agree, but sure. Splatoon
Nier
came out and
Automata.
was like, there you go. Splatoon came out and was like way more weird and cool and different. And, okay, but Nier Automata's on there, so that's good.
There's no way you can agree with this next one.
Okay.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Sure.
You hated that game.
No. I like that game.
For Andrew. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
Uncharted The Lost Legacy.
Okay. Weird it got on there and Uncharted 4 didn't, but okay.
What Remains of Edith Finch.
Okay.
Wolfenstein The New Colossus.
All right.
Wolfenstein 2. And that was 2017. 2018. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Sure. I don't agree, but sure.
Celeste.
Sure.
Forza Horizon 4. I don't agree with that.
One of the best games of the decade.
Yeah, dude. The same racing game every year is the best game of the decade. God of War. Yes.
Sure.
Monster Hunter World.
There you go.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
I
Not a fan.
disagree. Okay.
The Return of Obra Dinn.
Still need to play that, but people really like it.
Subnautica. I can agree with that. That game is
Sure.
very unique. Smash Ultimate.
Yeah, okay.
And Tetris Effect.
Sure.
I heard that game brought people to tears. I don't
Yeah.
know how true that is.
I cried
but
playing that game.
I want to play the game, but I heard that you have to play it in VR.
Oh yeah, you need to play it. You should come over and just play it on mine.
I'm down. 2019. We're on the last year.
I'm worried.
Beat Saber.
Sure. The game has taken Twitter
Control.
by storm. Control's great. Yeah.
Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Sure, that's a good choice.
Super Mario Maker 2.
Okay, I would maybe argue that Mario Maker 1 was a bigger impact and changed the world of gaming in a big way, but okay. Have a good one, King.
Outer Wilds.
Okay, I like that game so far. I don't know that it's one of the best games of the decade.
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
I disagree. That's recency bias right there. I like Sword and Shield, but it's not one of the best games of the decade.
But is it one of the best games of 2019?
But this list is of the decade.
Yes.
Thanks, King.
But it seems to me like they picked a select
Their favorite
amount
games of every year.
out of each
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
That way there's games from every year listed. Resident Evil 2 remake.
Sure.
Slay the Spire.
Okay, I've heard good things about that.
And that's it.
Okay, so chat, if you have some that you can think of that didn't get named, let's hear them. But otherwise, I have a few. First off, Deus Ex is not on there at all, even though it completely took over the world by storm. There's not a single Devil May Cry game on that entire list. At all. Not DMC5, not DMC. Yeah, this list would be a lot better if it was our favorite games of every year in this decade for sure. Wonderful 101 is not there. There's really not any platinum games on that list other than Nier Automata. Vanquish is not on that list. You got, I mean, if I just want to turn around here and look at what I got, let's see. There's not a single Gears of War game on that list, even though Gears of War. Halo is not on that list at all. Halo 4, I guess maybe people hate Halo 4, that's fair, but like Gears 3, Gears 4, and Gears 5 are all pretty popular for the most part on the Xbox side. Transformers games are not on there at all. Transformers War for Cybertron, Transformers Shadow of the Moon, and I may be like a little bit further back in the decade, that may be like 2008, 2009. As Jen's brought up, Don't Starve Together, games that took over the internet for a little while. Warframe's not there at all. That's ridiculous. Warframe deserves to be on there after the turnaround that it's had. Let's see. You got Dragon Age wasn't on there at all. Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't even think that's one of the best games of the decade, but I feel like they would have thought it was. Pat, do you have any while I'm thinking of more?
Yeah, so in my personal opinion, they had 2K11 on here, but 2K14 was the 2K that people talk about.
Yeah.
Like 2K14 was the first game on the new game engine for when they switched over, and it literally, like, if you're involved in the 2K community, you talk about 2K14. That's
Yeah.
what everybody's like, does this game look as good as 2K14? Shoot, man, there's a lot of games that I feel like probably could have made this list.
That's what I was talking about, King, is that I think I'm going a little bit too far back in my head. But also, like, as Artakis pointed out, Binding of Isaac, Rogue Legacy, Dead Cells, all games that were incredibly popular and got nothing. Enter the Gungeon when it comes to roguelikes. You have stuff like, I had it on the tip of my head, and now it's gone. Skyrim was on their list. They did have Skyrim on there. Thanks, Will. Obviously, they didn't have a single Gundam game in there because they don't care about them. They didn't have any mobile games in there, and I think that's really weird. Because, like, whether you like mobile games or not, they're absolutely mobile games took the decade by storm. They didn't even exist at the start of the decade, and they took over. There's a lot of weird. Xenoblade's not on there, but Bayo 2 is. Nuclear Throne. Yeah, there's so many games that the internet loves that I would like the best games of the decade, and then they have stuff like Firewatch and Gone Home,
Really
games that I
right now.
really like. I love Firewatch and I love Gone Home. Those games are
You're
not some of
breaking
the
up
best games of the
way
decade.
worse than before.
It's got to be an internet thing because like the stream is getting it fine. They had Bloodborne and they had DS1. They didn't have DS2 or DS3. And then Demon Souls would have been the previous decade. But anyway, as you can expect, that list was not really what any of us were hoping for. Oh, Dead Space 2 is this decade. What the heck, man? So, what I'm saying is you can look forward to seeing more of us covering IGN's terrible list every time they make them. Pat, they put Sword and Shield on there, and I love Sword and Shield. They put Sword and Shield on there, but they didn't put on Dark Souls 3. They didn't put on Wonderful 101. They didn't put on Rogue Legacy. They didn't put on... How? How? There's not a single DLC on that list. I'm so upset right now.
I really wish I could hear what you were saying.
Little Big Planet? Oh my gosh. Pat, I'm going to try muting and see if when I unmute, maybe if that... Can you hear me now, Pat? Can you hear me now, Pat?
I could hear that.
You can hear me now?
But it's like, at one point you were frozen for like 10 seconds.
Okay, but you can hear me now?
I think.
All right, well, we'll move on to the final thing, and we may have to call the podcast due to Discord being weird. But we're gonna round this out by talking about some awards that shouldn't be as annoying. We're gonna talk about some Steam awards. So, Pat, you with me?
Yes. You actually sound amazing now.
Okay. Every year, Steam does awards that are user submitted. So there's no risk of people being paid off or of pockets being lined. So, hey Pat, real quick, did you notice there was only one Call of Duty game on the entire list?
Yeah, especially whenever, in my opinion, this is the best Call of Duty we've had since like Black Ops.
Also, like Crash remake not on there, Spyro remake not on there.
There's so
Shadow
many
of the
games-
Colossus remake not on there.
There's so many games that could have been on there that it doesn't like. I think it's kind of like the last time IGN made a list. I feel like this is honestly what they do.
Yeah.
They literally go to every single person and they're like, "Hey, what's your favorite game of this year?" And once they compile the list of everyone's favorite game of that year, that's the list.
Yeah.
They don't even actually like try.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if we made a list of the greatest games of the decade, it'd take us like 4 hours. To get
Oh,
through all
for
of it.
sure, man. For sure. We got
Because
10
there's
years of
so
games to
many
go
game-
through.
Yeah, there's so many games that we've on that list. It'd be ridiculous.
Also, King, I've had multiple people tell me that that notifications aren't coming through. Hopefully, YouTube fixes that. They put the COPPA stuff into effect yesterday. So, hopefully, get all that stuff worked out. But as of yet, been no changes to the channel. So, I guess we're okay for now. But yeah, moving on from IGN. Steam did their awards. We have some wonderful awards here. Pat, I'm going to save Game of the Year. I don't know if you have these pulled up.
From Steam?
Yeah.
Yes, I have those open.
Okay. What I would like to do, for the sake of chat, is... That does work, man. I would like to say the name of the category, and then read off the nominations, and then we'll tell them who won. That way they get a chance to guess. So, Pat, if you will read off the category, I will read off the nominations, and we will give them a chance to guess before you reveal the winner.
Did you want to go in backwards order or make Game of the Year last?
Sure, let's go in backwards order. Start at the bottom, work your way up.
For 2019, Outstanding Visual Style.
The nominees are Grease, Total War 3 Kingdoms, Astroneer, Katana Zero, and Subnautica. Chat, you will now have a countdown 5 to guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pat, do you want to do the winner or you want me to do the winner?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
want me to do the winner?
Yeah, by all means.
The winner of 2019 Outstanding Visual Style goes to Greece.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
I never played Greece.
It looks cool.
I think Subnautica being on this list is awesome. I wish it would have won because I think that it has one of the most outstanding visuals ever.
I think I would have given it to Katana Zero personally.
Man, I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast before or not, but I can't play the rest of that game. I can't finish Subnautica.
You mentioned it when you first started playing it, that it like really bothered you.
Look, it's so realistic, and like the idea of going into the deeper parts of that water terrify me so much that I have to stop. Like I can't play further in the game. I just have this real fear of open empty water.
I don't blame you. And yet we played Raft.
That's different though, because like
Patrick. IGN's best of the decade list. Where the heck was DayZ?
I don't know, man.
Next category. Let's just move on.
For 2019's best game you suck at.
The nominees are Lord Howe, Code Vein, Hunt, Remnant from the Ashes, and Mortal Kombat 11. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
For 2019's best game you suck at goes to Mortal Kombat 11.
I don't agree with this award either, to be honest. Like, I get it, right? It's the best game you suck at. That, like, these people are bad at fighting games. Ha ha ha, that's the joke. But, like, how is it not Code Vein, right? That's the only Souls-like on this list.
Yeah. Why is Remnant from the Ashes there?
I guess the ads and the boss fights, people really got mad about it. I don't know. That game's really easy. You just use the tree.
I guess, man.
Also, Jen put it really well in the chat about the difference between Subnautica and Raft.
Goes deep in your mental fears, and Raft just a big rush of adrenaline. Yeah, that's true. No, Raft. I think Raft and Subnautica both are amazing, but because of how great Subnautica is,
Have a good one, King.
It hits my fears so hard that I can't. Like, I literally like my little brother was like watching because you can stream while you're playing on Discord. My little brother was watching me play this game, and was like, "Aren't you gonna jump down there?" And I'm like, "No." No, I don't want to know what's down there. I don't. And like, there's one monster you see pretty early on that's huge. I alt F4'd immediately. I was like, nope. I don't want any part of that. Nope. You got me. That's where I call it. Nope.
Nice.
Yeah. Great game. For 2019, outstanding story-rich game.
I'm sorry. I saw one of the nominees, and
so it makes sense.
Sure, read the description for me. I need to compose myself before I say these nominees because 2 of them really got me.
One of them makes no sense to me.
No, 2 of them to me.
2 of them?
Yeah. Some
days, only a narrative-heavy game will hit the spot, and this one packs a wallop. It's as gripping as any soap opera, and as well-tuned as a prestige TV screenplay. Bravissimo for making us feel things.
The nominees are
All right.
A Plague Tale: Innocence, Disco Elysium, Far Cry: New Dawn, Gears 5, and Greedfall. Remember, these are all games that came out on Steam this year. That's the point of these awards. A lot of games that came out on Steam this year. pretty good stories. Just saying. Just saying, Far Cry. Just saying, Gears 5.
When I grow up, I want to be a computer.
I was hoping you would bring that up. Oh, okay. Let me do
game
the
is
countdown.
trash.
Let me do the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
2019 outstanding story-rich game goes to A Plague Tale: Innocence.
I've heard that game has a really good story.
I didn't know it existed. Okay. Up next, 2019 most innovative gameplay.
You want to read the description on these two?
Sure. This game is at the front lines of experimentation, pushing the boundaries of the medium with exciting, novel interactions and brain-breaking surprises. This game thinks outside the box and pulls you out with it.
The nominees are Baba Is You, Slay the Spire, My Friend Pedro, Oxygen Not Included, and Planet Zoo. Missing from these nominees is Untitled Goose Game.
Oh boy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the winner for most innovative gameplay goes to My Friend Pedro, Blood Bullets Bananas.
Sure, it's like a ballet of death and destruction as you hop around the battlefield.
The only game in this list I really know about is Planet Zoo.
Actually, like, this is a quick aside. We did the safari while we were at Animal Kingdom in Disneyland, Disney World. And, like, while I was on that safari, I was like, man, I should probably buy Planet Zoo. All right, you're up.
For 2019's Better with Friends. I just saw the comment.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
There are some games out there that just aren't the same when you play by yourself. Maybe you need to have a friend to watch your back. Maybe you need to have a friend that you can stab in their back. Either way, Mirth is awaiting those who gather friends to play these games.
Before I note these nominees, I just want to point out every other award has had stuff that came out this year. I just want to make sure you remember that. For 2019's Better with Friends. Risk of Rain 2. Dota Underlords. Age of Empires 2. Ring of Elysium. And DayZ, a game that did not come out this year.
And the winner. Oh, wait.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the winner for Better with Friends goes to DayZ.
For 2019's Better with Friends.
Oh yeah. Great game. Great game.
Yeah, that's how it works.
The next is 2019 Labor of Love. This game has been out for a while. Team is well past the first unveiling of their creative baby, but being the good parents they are, these devs continue to nurture and support their creation. This game, to this day, is still getting new content after all these years.
Nominees for Labor of Love are Warframe Empyrean, Rainbow Six Siege, CSGO Operation Shattered Web, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Dota 2.
Real quick, I feel like all of these games deserve to be here except for CSGO. This is personal opinion.
I think Shattered Web brought some new stuff to the table. I think the one that doesn't deserve to be on this list for 2019, again, I still care about the year, is GTA 5, because all that came out this last year was a casino.
Yeah.
But I know they're not doing it based on the year since DayZ won the last one, so.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the winner for Labor of Love goes to Grand Theft Auto 5.
Or a casino where you can gamble real money.
Yeah. Only 2 more awards left. So, 2019 VR Game of the Year. When it comes to breaking new ground in games, there is no greater pace of advancement than in VR.
I'm right there with you, man.
If we had our way, all VR devs would get an award for building the future of immersive games and experiences unparalleled by any other medium. But since there's only one trophy, it's up to you, Steam Awards Selection Committee member, to crown just one as the best of 2019.
The nominees for Best VR are Beat Saber, Blade and Sorcery, Gorn, Borderlands 2 VR, Five Nights at Freddy's, Help Wanted.
Meh.
Don't love me like that. Leave my wallet alone. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The VR Game of the Year goes to Beat Saber.
I agree with this one, actually. I think this one's
Out of
Good
this
choice.
group, yeah, I for sure do. And
oh boy.
last but not freaking least,
Here we
baby,
go.
the 2019 Game of the Year. Maybe it was its immersive gameplay or its gripping story, its well crafted characters, immaculate design, or addictive multiplayer. Whatever the reason, the winner of 2019's Game of the Year award is an instant classic.
The nominees are Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Destiny 2, game that didn't come out in 2019, and Devil May Cry 5.
It's not a bad selection.
No, it's a good selection. I think other than Destiny 2, any one of these games has a good chance, right? Like
Mhm.
Destiny 2 shouldn't be on this list. Shadowfall should be on the list, but not regular Destiny 2. It's not no. I wouldn't even say Shadowfall should be on the list personally, but you know. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the 2019 Game of the Year award goes to Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I'm sorry, Artaka.
So like all I've done is talk bad about Sekiro. I'm aware of that. I like Sekiro. I really, really liked Sekiro. I don't think it's as good as RE2 Remake or DMC5.
I don't think that it's as good as Judgment, and I didn't play it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I think like Sekiro is a really cool game that, and I'm just gonna say it, I think the majority of people that voted for it never beat it. I think the majority of people that voted for it for Game of the Year at the Game Awards never beat it. Because I think that game is really cool until about the like 3/4 of the way in. And then at 3/4 of the way in, it starts to fall apart. Don't even get me started on New Game Plus. It's just like that game. Again, I have a review and I have a road to Goaty on it. If you want to hear my full thoughts on Sekiro, go for it. Because I let loose. I think that game is fundamentally flawed in a lot of ways. But I still think that game is ridiculously fun. The closer I was, like after I first beat it, that game was in my top 5. It's not even in my top 10 now, as I've had more time to think on it. But I still think it's a fun game. I just don't think it's Game of the Year.
I just want to say that I feel like this kind of also adds to what I have always said, which is that Reddit kind of controls the world.
Well, this was Steam voting, not Reddit voting.
Yes, but Reddit adored Sekiro.
Well, don't forget, Steam forums also really like Sekiro as well.
Yes. But I feel like if there wasn't so many people that just like are followers, as terrible as it sounds, that were just like, oh, everyone likes Sekiro, so I have to like
Well,
Sekiro.
and I
And it
think.
like
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, I was gonna say it's kind of like the Game Awards. Like I bet
Yeah.
you a lot of the people who voted didn't even play the game.
Well, no, I'm sure a lot of people played the first 2 hours because that first 2 hours is great.
Yeah.
But it's when you get into the back half of the game and realize that most of the stuff you're given is kind of worthless. Like, and there are people that have commented on like the review or that have messaged me on Discord or on Twitter, and they're like, "Hey, you don't like Sekiro because it's not a Souls game." Like, go back and watch that review. I specifically state in that review that I'm not going to compare it to Souls throughout that review, and I cut double the length of that review out of the review because I kept trying to compare it, and I made sure I went back and erased every single comparison. Because I think you should be able to review a game on its own standards, not comparing it to the rest of the series made by the same developer. And I think just comparing it with its own standards, with the own rules it makes, it falls apart. I still love it, but like, I can't divorce the problems from it and say it's game of the year like all these people are. These people that are saying, well, yeah, it has those problems. Yeah, that final boss is garbage. Yeah, the Guardian Ape is bad. Yeah, the Demon of Chaos, Demon of Hatred is bad. But everything else is really good. Or, yeah, the tools don't make sense. And the Spirit Emblem system is actually kind of stupid. And the way that combat arts work together with the Spirit Emblems that you have a limited amount of, and they all use that same pool, except the one that happens to be the best combat art in the game that can stagger every single boss, that one you don't have to spend Spirit Emblems for. That system's fine. It's not broken at all because I like the game. No. You have to be able to accept that the game that you like has problems. And if you can walk away and say, yes, I understand it has those problems, but I still think it's the best game of the year, then I'm with you. But that's not what these people are doing.
And that's why I was saying, like I feel like it all comes back to like people not really wanting to go against the grain. Like,
Yeah.
Like think about Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, for sure.
That game had a ton of problems, but people just like it got so much hype prior to it coming out that they refused to let it die. They
Yeah.
were like, no, this is the greatest game. And it wasn't. It really wasn't.
Yeah. Well, and like, again, I don't mean to just regurgitate the Sekiro review, but as Artakis pointed out in the chat, you get the firecrackers as like your second or third tool, depending on which way you go. You never take those off. They stagger everything. They're made to stagger animals. You're told in the game that they're made specifically to stagger animals. They stagger everything, including the final boss. And you get them at the start. And they stagger them before you even upgrade them. And they can stagger them multiple times throughout the course of the fight. Like, why would you ever switch off of them to a shuriken that does no damage and does barely any posture damage? Or to a spear that says it breaks off armor and doesn't even hurt the armored enemies in the game? Like, why would you ever switch to one of those when you have a firecracker right there that does everything you want it to do? Because your goal is to kill the thing in front of you, and the firecracker makes it stop defending for a second.
Yeah, man, like I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't like the game that you like because it's your opinion. So
Yeah.
you should have it.
Oh, play Sekiro.
Everyone
It's a
has the
good
right to
game.
have-
It's a very good game. It's just not game of the year.
I just refuse to even though I haven't played it, I refuse to think that it's better than a game that has like reportedly not had as many issues.
Yeah.
Because like Judgment isn't the best game in the world like ever.
Yeah.
But Judgment's a really great game.
Yeah. It's got its
And
problems for sure.
And I'm willing to argue that at least in the games that I played this year,
Yeah.
it is the best game of this year. Well, and we'll have that discussion later.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's other stuff that go into that. And the fact that these companies don't even look at all the games
Yeah.
is enough of a problem. But then like you have people, like I said, who just like they latch on to something because of the hype.
Yeah, for sure.
And
And,
like you
like-
said, most of those people probably didn't even play more than 2 hours of that game.
And like, it can't be bad because they spent money on it. And if it's bad and they spent money on it, then they made a mistake, and they can't make mistakes. so it can't
Exactly.
be bad. It has to be good.
You know
And
what
you're just
mistake
wrong.
I made? I bought Red Dead Redemption 2. You know
I
how many
bought
hours of that game I
Jump
played?
Force.
Yeah, you bought Jump Force. Yeah, that's a good one. I I played like 3 hours or 4 hours of that game, and immediately was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Like I'm trading this game in. I bought Far Cry New Dawn, Trey,
Yeah. Well, and like
and that game gets praise.
one of the reasons we did the Road to Goaty series this year was so that it wasn't just me talking about, hey, here's this game that has a ton, like a laundry list of problems. It's like even the games that I really love, I talk about the problems there. You want to know a big problem with Judgment that I have? It's a big problem that I have with Judgment. Judgment's biggest issue I have is after you beat the game and you're just wanting to do that, or even before when you're trying to beat the game. Those stupid missions with the regular enemies that come up, the raids, pop up all the time, and they chase you from one end of the map to the other before they
Yeah.
give up. So if you want to go to a quest and they're right there, you have to run all the way around. Then you get guilt tripped by Mr. Kaz, who's just sending you a message like, "Oh, you didn't have, and my friend got hurt, and I thought you were going to protect the people." That's terrible, but that is a little thing.
Yeah.
My Sekiro issues are huge. And to Chad's point of like Artaka says I like DS2 more than Sekiro. First playthrough Sekiro, I liked it more than DS2 and DS3. However, if I want to go play DS2 right now, what weapon do I want to use? Do I want to go pyromancy? Do I want to go magic? What do I want to do? Do I want to go miracles? Do I want to use an axe? Do I want to use a light sword? Do I want to use a great sword? Do I want to use a dagger? Do I want to parry? Do I want to go a shield build? Do I not want to have a shield? Do I want to do a mixed build? What do I want to do? DS3, same way. Sekiro, I'm going to use the sword because it's the only weapon. And I'm going to use the firecrackers. And I'm going to use the Ichimonji. They're the best choice, by far. So why would I use anything else?
See, like one of my problems with Judgment is that like you can get pulled into those like grunt battles
Yeah.
from so far away.
Oh, for sure.
And that sucks. Like some of the trailing missions are annoying. Like they can be annoying.
Yeah.
I didn't hate them. I still thought they were cool. It was a cool idea. It just needed to be flushed out a little bit more. But I like there even the problems that I have with that game, I don't like once I'm like, oh, that's kind of annoying. I just don't think about it anymore.
Yeah.
And I still like keep enjoying the game. And like one of those tailing missions was fun. But like you said, like those are small things. Like I think that Judgment has one of the best stories I've seen in a long time.
Even if we divorce it from story, I think a big thing with games that, and I'm just going to say it, I think a lot of reviewers nowadays play games just to beat them. And they beat them, and they mark it off, and they write the review, and they're good to go. And they don't think about replayability because they're never going to play that game again.
Yeah, why would they think about that?
Right. Replayability means a lot to me. Maybe I'm not ever going to play it again, but maybe the person watching the review is going to. Judgment, 2 different styles, a ton of different moves, a ton of different heat moves. If you want to play it again, new save file without all your stuff, without New Game Plus, that's fine. You can do that. You get completely different abilities from the ones you had before. Not as much as in the Yakuza games, but you still have options. And that's where Sekiro really breaks for me, is you just don't have them. But
Also,
real quick,
New
though.
Game Plus.
Yeah, New Game Plus. Well, New Game Plus is in Sekiro too. It's just worse.
No, I'm saying like the two of them versus each other. Like from what I've heard, Judgment has a way better New Game Plus. I mean, the fact that you can literally just go back and do any side missions that you missed, you can go play in the arcade.
Well, that's just like after the world. That's not like a New Game Plus, but like Sekiro's New Game Plus, I think is actually like in some ways it's good for if you just want difficulty, but it's worse in a large margin when it comes to like bosses. Bosses have so much, like it's like 4 times more health on New Game Plus.
They did it just to make it harder.
Yeah, and like that's
Not make it better.
that's not fun to me. That's not what I want the game to do. Real quick though, just a quick aside. How did Monster Hunter World not get in Labor of Love here?
Yeah,
With all
it
the
has
updates
one
that
of
it
the
got on
best-
PC, where they fixed all the big issues, they added a bunch of new monsters. Devil Joe, Ulfroth.
Devil Joe's annoying as hell.
I love Devil Joe. Shut your mouth.
He looks cool, but he's annoying. He comes in every time I try to fight the Radobon. that stupid Devil Joe shows up and just like attacks me, not the Rotobon. Rotobon's running around having a
Look,
great time,
there's a thing you need to
getting
know.
its armor back.
There's a thing you need to know about both Basil Geese and about Devil Joe. They don't care about other monsters. They just hate you with a burning passion.
So stupid. And you hit them with the dung pot, and they'll be like, "All right, okay, I get it. I'll leave." 5 minutes later, I'm back.
Yeah,
And then they
yeah.
just like start attacking you again. I'm just like, go away. I think I just broke my other monitor.
Nice. I'm right there with Ban though.
What
Like,
just happened?
I don't like the spam bushes in DS2 at all. I really hate them. But when I'm not
I
playing a
accidentally
challenge run,
activated my HDMI switch.
nice.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
When I'm not playing a challenge run like I did for the channel, I can play that however I want. Whereas like with Sekiro, can't. It's always going to be the same run. I can go a different way first, but it's always going to be the same run. Spectre Knight and Shovel Knight.
Man.
Harder but with new mechanics. Yeah. Iceborne does a thing that's technically, it's not New Game Plus, but Iceborne does a thing where you fight old monsters that have new moves they didn't have before. Master Rank. They added moves to the monsters to make them more interesting and more challenging. I think that's really
So you can't just go farm them the same way you did before because you have to learn the new moves.
Patrick, when you see Tsuyaku's new move, do you want me to just tell you what it is, or you want to wait and see it?
I want to wait.
Okay, it's
I
so
like
good.
Tsuyaku, even though the Tsuyaku is so annoying.
His new Master Rank move is so cool.
Who was it that we were fighting? I think we were fighting.
We were fighting Legiana and he kept showing up, or Paolumu and he kept showing up.
No, it was one of the first high rank missions where a monster that's not supposed to be there was there. I'm terrible with names. It's one of the big wyverns, big red
Legiana?
wings that shoots fire.
A big red Rathalos?
Yes, so the Rathalos is there, and I don't think you fought this one with me. I think it was Eric and myself. So Eric and I were like fighting, and the Tsuyaku literally would just run up, flash, and then run away. And then like 2 minutes later, it'd come back, run up and flash, and then run out, and literally, it was like every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And Eric and I got to the point where we were just like, we just need to run away, so that way the Tsuyaku is not here.
It is really good. Expect to see some videos from me on Iceborne for sure, for PC, because I'm really enjoying the PC version.
The PC version of the game is better.
Yeah,
That's
for
just
sure.
a fact.
Loading times are so much better. Frame rate uncapped. Oh, it's so good.
The game looks smooth.
It does.
Plays smooth.
It looks really smooth.
I've experienced one lag once the whole time I've been playing, and I've doubled the amount of hours I put into this game.
Yeah.
Originally on PC now than I did on PS4.
I've had a few crashes, but I had crashes on PS4 too. So.
Way better.
Well, I guess we should move on to plugs and then call the podcast for tonight, and then I'll
We
go get some sleep.
unintentionally hit a topic, and I'm happy.
Yeah, I think it was good. I keep repeating this, and I feel bad about it, but I know that if I don't keep saying it, people won't believe it because I know how negative I am on Sekiro. I really like that game. I think it's really cool. If we did top 15s, it would be in my top 15. But it's very, very broken in a lot of ways. And maybe with DLC or patches, they could fix it. But it's broken in a way that none of the other games made by From lately have been. And I see that, Patrick. And I cannot, with good conscience, say that it is the best game of the year with those flaws. I think that it is important to accept that a game you like has flaws. And and I think as long as you can accept that a game that you like has flaws, then you're good. But I accept that Final Fantasy 14 is one of my favorite games of all time. You know what the flaw... I'm sorry, we were about to plug and go so I could sleep. I'm tired. You know what the biggest flaw 14 has? It's absolutely the biggest flaw it has. It's a huge flaw. I'll shout it from the rooftops. You know what the biggest flaw 14 has? A Realm Reborn. You have to start at the beginning to get to the cool stuff that everybody talks about. And that first set of quest lines, it's really long. It's incredibly long. It takes forever. There's over 100 quests once you hit level 50 just to be able to get into the Heavensward stuff. It's a huge issue. But I think the rest of the game makes up for that. And there's an option to get around it. Sure, that costs money. That's a problem too. I fully admit that. But the devs have already said they're working on reducing that. Should have reduced it a long time ago. I'll fully admit that. It's a flaw. But it's a flaw for a game that has only continued to improve since then. Going through Heavensward, that's a blast. Going through Stormblood, that's a blast. You won't ever have that problem again. They haven't made that mistake again.
Also, what game has been going on this long that's had so much support?
Warframe.
Both. Oh, well, yeah. Warframe is up there too.
Yeah.
But the two, like, just in general, these two games,
And they both had
They
the
have
same
been-
problem. They failed at first.
overwhelming support
Mhm.
by both the community and the developers. Like,
Yeah.
overwhelming support. And like the fan base of both of those games are serious.
Yeah,
like
for
they
sure.
are about it. And I love 14. One of these days I want to buy the skip and put more time into it.
Yeah, you should.
But I know that if I do, I'm probably going to be lost in the sauce, and I won't do what I did this year, or this past year, which was actually play more than 10 games.
Yeah, I understand.
I want to so bad.
You should. It's really
And
good.
that's so what sucks for me is that, like, I want an MMO, right? And there's MMOs coming out this year. So I'll play them. But once December hits, I'll stop playing them.
None of them are going to
because-
be as good as 14 anyway. I'm just saying.
That's probably valid. But what if they could be Game of the Year?
That'd be really cool.
I doubt it.
I
but
just
I'm
want to
probably
point
gonna
out
play them anyways.
how happy I am that I can't remember her name right now because my brain is fried. But the woman who wrote Shadowbringer's main storyline has now been promoted to head writer for Final Fantasy 14.
That's cool.
Which means that every story, like of the main story we get from now on, will be written by her and her team. Which means it will be top quality. I don't know about tomorrow night, Will. I don't know what my schedule is going to be like for this week because I have to get the vacation video up, and then I have to do all the recording so that we don't run out of videos halfway through the week. Since I didn't get to record any last week, but I will get back in touch with you. Pat, because we have to stop at some point. We won't if we don't. Do you have any plugs?
Yes, I do have a plug. It's kind of random,
Okay.
but I support this channel and this person a lot. I think that they're a really cool person. He's a comedian that does comedy content on his channel, and his name is Kev on Stage.
Okay.
He's very funny. He's also on another group called All Deaf Studios.
Okay.
They're really funny. Kev on Stage, their group unfortunately just had something kind of terrible happen to them where they were affected by some pretty awful racism that caused them to eventually have to leave the studio that they were in behind
Yeah.
because the landlord was very racist. So they're moving to a different area, but they're low on funds and they need support. So if you want to go check out Kev on Stage, maybe like a video or two or subscribe. He's very funny. And one of the things that I like about Kev on Stage the most is that he doesn't curse.
Hey, there you go.
Because I feel like a lot of people think the only way they can be funny is if they add curse words to
Yeah.
their comedy. And he's one of those people that doesn't. And I think that it's super cool. So
Did it well.
I think he's super funny. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, obviously, but I feel like everybody should check him out.
So I don't have a problem with people cursing or swearing. It doesn't bother me at all.
Me either.
But there's a lot of times that I will be over at my parents' babysitting the kids, and I want to show the kids cool videos, funny videos, and I have to be really careful because they're not supposed to be around that kind of stuff because my mom really doesn't like it. And it's not cool because, like, I want to be able to go, hey, check this out, and then they can't. And that's one of the reasons that I don't ever swear in our stuff, is so if the kids can watch videos with just me, they can watch as much as they want. But Studio C is another channel like that. Good sketch comedy where I just put those videos on, just let them run.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. Like, I'm not saying that you can't cuss in your
Yeah,
comedy
I don't.
because
I find it funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it can add some really good comedy to it too. But I really applaud the people that don't have to curse to be funny because I feel like that's a lost art.
Yeah. Please continue. I'm sorry. I'm just for chat. That brought it up
No, I
again.
understand.
So I'm just.
He does a lot of comedy
Oh, you're
just
you're
in
fine. I'm
general.
talking. You're fine.
The group that he's a part of is called All Deaf. They do this roast me show
Yeah.
where a group of them all sit in a room and they just roast each other, and it's really funny.
Yeah.
They do curse in those, but it's not Kev on Stage channel. It's the All Deaf channel, but they're really funny. So
And for anybody that's worried that like I police Pat and Andrew cusses all the time. You guys know that. I don't police. I don't like policing people. I think people should have a right. Look, I'm one of those people that believes that everybody's input is important, whether I agree with them or not. People should be able to say what they want to say. That's what freedom of speech is, whether I agree with it or not. But don't hurt anybody. That's
if we want to get monetized, we have to keep the cursing to a minimum.
it's fine.
Trey, you know what I just realized?
What's that?
When we're tired, we don't stop talking.
No, we just keep going. So I'll hit a
We
somber.
can have the greatest conversation, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're just like
Pat,
literally like sleepless out of our minds.
Pat, do you remember the Naruto podcast? It was supposed to be like an hour, and it was 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say we talked for way too long,
Oh,
like for no reason.
it
We were all
was
tired. And we just
5
kept going.
hours. uh,
Good times, man.
so I'll bring in a somber plug, and that will help us die out here. I didn't know that Australia was on fire until
Yeah.
yesterday.
I found out a couple days ago.
Because nothing at the park showed it, and it wasn't coming through on my regular news feeds. If how do I word this? Be really careful who you give to if you are donating money for the relief funds. There were a lot because I did a lot of digging on it today. There were a lot of scams with relief funds, and a lot of that money that was raised just isn't going anywhere to help. But if you want to donate, there are a lot of different places that you can find trustworthy funds. Free, a YouTuber that's Australian, put up a fund that has already been proven to be going to the right place. But yeah, Australia's in a bad way right now, and
Super bad.
it's maybe the worst it's ever been. So if you were planning on donating, this is just a little PSA of be careful where you donate. Because there have been a lot of scams. But
And I heard there's like populations of koala that could go extinct because of
Yeah.
this too.
the Steve Irwin Zoo, the wildlife preserve, was barely able to get most of their animals out. But like it was real bad there. And not just koalas, there's a couple different animals over there that might just not exist anymore after this.
It's really bad, man.
And a lot of houses have been burned too. So, just again, if you were going to, please be careful. As Ben put it, it's horrific, the fire and the fact that people are trying to make a profit off of it. Didn't mean to bring the mood down, just something I saw today and thought, hey, bring it up.
I can't blame our talker for like thinking that way though.
Yeah, because people were making
always
jokes
think
all
of stuff
day.
like that,
People were making jokes
Yeah.
about World War III. Like it's
which is literally a possibility.
people just joke about everything. To be fair, I'm not saying that it's okay. It is a coping mechanism for a lot. Don't hey, stop! Don't claw that! Stop! And then I have a good plug, which is like a hey, haha, everything's going great. You should check out Mecha. I've mentioned him a couple times. He is doing a Let's Play of Fire Emblem Fates which is maybe the worst Fire Emblem game. And he had never played it before. He'd only heard the bad things about it from other people. And his reactions to some of the terrible writing, pretty funny. You know, something to think about.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And finally, if you haven't, you should listen to the Tokuger theme song every morning. That's what I do. It's really good. Resha Sentai Tokuger. That's true. That's true. We could. That's a good point, man. So yeah, with that in mind, coming up on the week, we have more Road to Goaties. We have a couple more first impressions. I'm gonna try and beat what's it called? Outer Wilds. And see how that goes. Maybe we get a Road to Goatee up on it. And then we'll be scheduling Goatee over the next couple days, figuring out when we're gonna do that. And so we'll put out some word when we decide when we're gonna do it and if it's gonna eat up a podcast or not. But anything else we might have forgotten?
That should be it. First podcast of the new year.
Yeah.
We did it, boys.
Little sleepy, little rambly, but I think it was a good one. We covered some cool stuff.
Hopefully next week we can have the first podcast with all three of us for the new year.
Yep. Also, before we go, gotta use biting shark. Gotta use biting shark, Pat.
Do it. That's amazing.
We gotta do the finisher. For my final
Amazing.
plug, watch Kamen Rider. It's really good. Oh, the gun? Look, I'm not gonna say I bought another belt because they didn't have one at Disney, but I was given a $100 Amazon gift card, so I bought the gun belt, and it'll be here sometime this week for next week's podcast. So just be looking out for that. But
Nice.
until next time, I've been Trey.
I've been Patrick.
We've been the Full Spectrum, and remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that life and 2020 has to offer.